Hello, hello! On today's show, I'm going to talk some bee action. Mike's got a double review to grind out for us today. And we apparently have a horrific Halloween on the horizon in July. Welcome to your favorite live streaming podcast, Comics and Collectibles in the Crawl Space by Xcellar Comics. I am your usual main host. Maybe that's what it is. But there's two better hosts than me, so maybe one of them should main this someday. But first up is Mike.
Hey, what's up, everyone?
What's up? And then, of course, Patrick is here.
I am here. Good morning, everybody.
What's up, Pat?
Good morning.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we didn't even do a mic check before the show started either. I think your mic's good, though. You started to say something about fixing your mic from the last show, Pat, didn't you?
For combat, I think.
Oh,
Great. What's it doing?
Well, when we can hear it, it's money. But when there's nothing. I thought you were joking.
It keeps breaking in and out. That's a perfect thing to happen during a mic's being fixed conversation, though, Pat. So if that was planned, it was perfect.
Yeah, I don't think it's my mic. I keep seeing you guys stutter, so I think it's probably my connection. Although my location claims to have super fast internet, so I'm not sure what the deal is.
You know, I was just thinking about that at work. Totally couldn't hear the end of that. I was just thinking that at work this week, whatever advertisements are coming are coming through my headset with regards to internet connections and stuff like that. And as they're trying to sell all the high speed and you can upgrade, and I'm like, how could we ever verify whether they're actually giving us that anyway? Yeah. Just by trusting that it works? Because then if it doesn't work, then they can just say, oh, it's because of this, that, and the other. It's not because you're not getting what you're paying for, right?
Yeah.
Pat, or Mike, look into that.
Yeah, I already did. I think there are testers out there. You can hook up to things and measure and all that. I'm not.
Is that true, Pat? It sounds like something you'd probably know.
Yeah, actually, well, you can just test it over the internet. I actually did that last night and this morning.
And was it accurate from what you're supposed to have?
It's supposed to be really fast, yeah.
Okay, well, we'll see.
Seems like it's faster than the speed of sound.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got a lot today. Obviously, we've skipped previews because of some changes. We keep kind of still working out the kinks and a lot of schedule changing. But we've landed on a previews week, and Mike and Pat were prepared. I, of course, was not, but I've got cool things to talk about. And Mike, you said since it's been so long, you just doubled up to cover my shortcomings, right?
Well, I prepared for last month as if we were going to do a show.
Right.
Actually, it was May for July. Yeah, is that right?
Also, it's going to be a special previews in the way that you and Pat are going to talk about the typical preview stuff for 3 months from now. And then you're also going to fit in a previews that should have been done when we were gone that's coming out this month anyway. So no one's going to miss anything that they see in previews, right?
Right. And I actually had an August done, but only on paper. I didn't get any of the pictures and stuff. So we'll just scrap that one.
Okay. So we want to do previews first, right?
Yeah, let's get that out of the way.
All right, cool.
That song sounded like it had coconut shell in it.
Yeah, I think it probably does. Exactly. So let me just sneak one of mine in here real quick. That's what I'll do. I'll sneak mine in. You guys do your thing, and then I'll do mine to close it out too. Okay?
Okay, that works.
Because I got two cool things I wanted to show you guys, which are relevant to our likes. Okay. So first, I got this. My birthday was just a few days ago. So I ended up getting. I don't know whether you're aware of. There's a new TCG Star Wars game out there. You know, I don't know why Star Wars doesn't outdo Magic and hasn't been outdoing Magic forever as far as TCGs are concerned. Because I mean, what better property? But it's so funny. They come out. I think there's been 3 or 4, maybe even 5 Star Wars TCG games out in the same time frame that Magic has just been going.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Are you familiar with all this, Pat? Does that sound about accurate?
Yeah, it seems like there's always a new one. That makes it tough to keep up and buy and everything.
And want to commit too. You know, I think
Right.
that's part of the allure to Magic is they just keep coming out with new expansions, and you can still play with cards from 30 years ago or whatever it is now. I think it's 30 years. Yeah. So anyway, this is their latest attempt at being the Magic Slayer. It's called Star Wars Unlimited. And the reason is it's actually been out, I think, for close to a year now. The first set was called Spark of the Rebellion, but this set is just coming out now. I think it just came out last week. But it's called Shadows of the Galaxy. And this picture I've got here is a starter set. And my favorite format of Magic the Gathering is Commander. I think Mike's probably the same way too. If we ever get you playing Magic, Pat, it'll probably be yours too. Anyway, but it's called Commander, and basically you got one card that's kind of your commander that you can play with and build a deck around, and that's kind of how Unlimited works a little bit. You have a leader, and you kind of build that deck around the leader, which obviously fits perfectly in the Star Wars universe. And anyway, this starter pack. That's the release starter pack for the second expansion of Star Wars Unlimited. It's called Shadows of the Galaxy, and the 2 leaders that come with it are the Mandalorian and technically Grogu, and Moff Gideon, which is really cool. And I have it because I got it for my birthday, and it's awesome. All right, cool. So
Sorry, I was doing. So, how many games have you? Is that the only one that you have, or you have one of the other ones?
One of the other one. What do you mean? One of the other expansions?
Yeah.
Yeah, the first one is called Spark of the Rebellion, and I got the starter pack for that. And Pat, you don't know anything about this, but why don't you guess who the 2 leaders are in the first Spark of the Rebellion set for Star Wars Unlimited? Just guess who the 2 leaders are for that.
Dean Wren and Ezra Bridger. You want a bad guy, right?
Yeah, it's got to be a bad guy and a good guy. But listen to the name of it. It's called Spark of the Rebellion. Oh, yeah, Sabine and Ezra would be good. Yeah, I see where your head was. Sorry. Yeah,
that's where I was trying to go.
We need a bad guy. Actually, I'm going to just rip this off like a Band-Aid because you're not on the right track. Every single Star Wars game that comes out starts with a Luke and Darth Vader set. You know what I'm saying? It's like
I was going to go there, but I figured the Spark of the Rebellion meant it was a little earlier.
Yeah, the Rebels. I could see. Yeah, I was tracking late there, but yeah, that makes sense. But no, the first starter set is Luke and Darth, and it is very cool. even though it's just more Luke and Darth and does all the classic things you'd expect. But I think that's what they kind of lean in on anytime they come out with something new Star Wars, right? They got to lean in on the OG,
Right.
get the guaranteed money, and then they go from there. And look at these though; all of them come with a play mat, and the art's really good on these. I don't even know who does this art, but this is a sick poster.
Yeah.
It's a play mat on one side of the poster, and I buy the nice play mats, so I don't use these paper play mats. But I'd like to frame this bad boy and hang it. The art's great on these, and every set, whatever leader you got, comes with a cool print like this. Obviously, this is Mando, and then I've got Grogu, Darth Vader, Luke, and Moff Gideon. But it's some great art. I should look into who that is. But anyway, Shadows of the Galaxy just came out. Check it out. It's a lot of fun.
Cool. All
All
right.
right, Mike.
Okay, so my first run through will be books from May for coming out in July.
Okay.
Start off with The Sacrificers number 10. Patrick and I are loving this series. And this is the first part of a solo tale about Princess Saluna. And the artwork is by Andre Lima Arajo. And he'll be doing issues 10, 11, and 12. So got a little bit of change of pace. Still looks pretty good, though. I like that cover. I like that art.
Interesting. Yeah.
So there you go. Oh, it comes out July 10th, and it's $3.99.
It came out 3 days ago. Gotcha.
Son of a gun. Yeah, so happy you probably already got it. Or everybody already got it because Patrick and I have been recommending this book since issue 1.
And it's still standing the test of time into issue 10. It's still a great story.
Yeah, I haven't read 10, but yeah.
Yep.
Well,
I read 9. I read 9 probably this week. So yeah, I recall seeing this cover right at the end of issue 9. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome. Okay.
We always know, some comic books are like movies, DVD, physical media. They want you to buy the same thing over and over again. And that's what we have first off out of the bat gate for me here is that Fantastic Four Full Circle original graphic novel. They're re-releasing it. The original release was 64 pages, original graphic novel. It's by Alex Ross. They're calling this the expanded edition. It has 288 additional pages of bonus material.
Dadgum.
That's insane.
And it includes the original story. I think it was like, Fantastic Four 60 something, where this sort of branched off from it. Alex Ross took his inspiration from. So, I mean, I kind of want this. I hate buying the same thing again. They when they initially released this, there was a regular edition and a special slipcase edition. Now they're going back to the well a third time and expanded edition. So cover retail price on this is $65. So get pre-order in and get a discount, hopefully, if you want to pick this up yet again.
Well, as my favorite salesman at my LCS would say, that's a bargain, though, because if you do the math on that, it's 288 additional pages. You divide that by 20 pages in your average comic, $4 per comic. Do the math on that. $65 is a steal.
Sure.
Right, Mike? Isn't that what he'd say?
Yeah. Excuse me. Yeah. He's good salesman.
He is a good salesman. But that's cool, though. I have heard rumblings that this story is not quite as good as it's cracked up to be, though. But the art, what are you going to do, right?
Yeah, you could have heard those rumblings from me when I reviewed the original version.
Right. But the art's beautiful.
Right. And they ran with this costume design for the Ryan North current FF series. So you can't deny the artwork. The artwork,
yeah.
Story was just, I found a little lacking. So
And where do you think our collections would be if we didn't buy the same thing in different ways multiple times? We'd probably have you know, 2/3 of the size of the it'd probably at least shave off a third of our collection if we didn't have reprints and you know all that to buy a second, third, fourth time. Yeah,
It actually parked my car in the garage.
right.
Yeah.
All right, nice.
To afford. But I have a hard time getting rid. If I have a newsstand and a direct, I'm like, well, I need to keep both. Anyway.
Yeah, I still haven't gotten over that one. Yeah, I still count those as two separate comics for sure. Yeah. Anyway, what you got next, Mike?
Next up, this one is more just a personal like for me. The Walking Dead Deluxe number 93. This was the very first Walking Dead comic book that I ever bought.
Oh, really? Okay.
Years after putting issue number 1 back on the shelf because it looked too cartoony.
Right.
I couldn't stand the trade dress. It's just, like this isn't a zombie book. So, but anyway, I love how I'm not collecting the reprint covers. I'm getting the Finch A covers. And it wasn't until I did this that I realized that they do actually change the colors a little bit. They changed the trade dress, even the title for the book or the storyline, moved it around some. But I've always liked this cover.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yep.
Hey, this is a perfect choice for you after the conversation we just had about rebuying things. How many Walking Deads of each version have you bought? This is at least 4th or 5th for you, right, Mike? If you end up buying these, right?
Yeah. I've got the regular issues from the initial release. I've got the compendium. I've got the trades. And I've got multiple covers of the first series, and then
Deluxe.
Deluxe. I've got all the A covers, and I've got all the Art Adams connecting covers, and I've got a bunch of sets because every 6 issues or so, they have a new artist doing a connecting cover set, and I have a bunch of those too. So, yeah, I helped buy Kirkman's house.
Yeah, your Walking Dead collection alone is the envy of full collections of other collectors as far as number is concerned, is amount. Yeah.
So
awesome. Awesome. All right, Pat.
All right. Next up, I have Batman Long Halloween, the last Halloween. This is issue 1 of a 10-issue series, sort of a tribute to Tim Sale, who passed away a few years ago. It's written by Jeff Loeb, his longtime collaborator, who also wrote the original Long Halloween. And the deal is each issue has a different superstar artist on the art duty. So first issue is Eduardo Riso. I'm probably down for this, although I may wait and just get a collected edition.
You were kind of trailing off there at the end again. Did you say this is the Long Halloween, the last Halloween? What'd you say?
Yes, exactly.
Oh, okay.
It's a very long title.
That's awesome, though. I'll probably be in for this. Yeah.
I think, didn't they have this planned out before Tim passed away?
That's what they're saying. At least they had, some initial threads planned out.
Right.
And they're going to go ahead and try to run with that.
Yeah, I like the idea of having some big name artists all the way through it, but what you lose there is the consistency in storytelling. So it's a trade-off.
Yeah, and I think out of the gate, going with Eduardo Riso, he kind of has a Tim Sale vibe, so it's a good way to start. We'll see where it goes from there.
Yep. Yeah, that's a good series.
All right. Yeah.
All right. Next up from me, I have Hello Darkness, number 1. This is from Boom. comes out July 24th. It's $5.99. It's a monthly anthology series. The first, it's got I think the big lead off here is Garth Ennis and Becky Cloonan. Their story runs through the first 7 issues, but also for fans of Something is Killing the Children, there's a story in there that runs through the first 6 issues. So this is a cover by Paulo Rivera, which I think this is pretty cool. But we also have a Jenny Frison cover for her fans.
Oh, that is really cool. I like that.
Yeah, I love good anthologies. So, and this one's starting off pretty. It seems like it's starting off pretty good with Garth Ennis and the Something's Killing the Children story to kind of pull people in.
Nice.
All right. Next, I have another offering from DC. This is part of their Uncovered series. It's sort of a comic book format, but they collect various covers throughout a run. This one here is Nightwing Uncovered, $6 cover price. However, I'm spotlighting here. It wasn't shown in previews, but I found it online, and I'm not completely sold on what's going on here. I was hoping for a better, a more normal looking cover and not this cover. Although I thought I saw this before, but this is a lenticular cover by Bruno Redondo, and it's going to run you $10.
Yeah, isn't this one you showed us before, Mike?
It's similar. It has Nightwing running through panels like that, and then I think he's on like some scaffolding or something. And then the very last panel, I think he's kicking a burglar or something like that.
What do you know? What lenticularizes? Is that a word? Lenticularizes?
Yeah.
You know what lenticularizes on this, Pat?
I do not, and that's the other thing too. Is I started questioning whether this is the actual cover because it seemed familiar, but apparently it's a little different. So maybe this is it. I don't know.
Interesting.
So this is a collection of his covers. I think
not just his though. It seems like it's just various Nightwing covers.
Oh, okay. Because his cover run was just fantastic. Some of the most unique layouts. I love them.
Right.
As everybody saw in all the pick threes.
Right? Yeah.
He was a staple for pick 3 for a long time.
Yes.
All right.
All right. Next up, we've got the Graveyard Club #1. This is only going to be 2 issues. We've got R.L. Stine, and this is a $10 book, but I didn't write the page count down. But I think it's almost double size, or
hopefully at $10 would be at least.
Yeah.
And
then so I thought it was pretty interesting. And then initially, this was the first one that I saw. There was an Erica Slaughter variant, and at the time it wasn't available whenever I put all this together. And I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. But then I found out it seems like Boom is doing their best Marvel imitation, where there's Erica Slaughter covers for all their books. But they finally released it, and that's actually what the cover is going to be. So it's a pretty cool cover.
Yeah, that is pretty cool.
And I think it's just your typical, your teenagers, I guess they form a club in the graveyard.
Cool.
Yep. That's what I got. As the theme, it seemed like everything that I was getting out of this month was all horror themed.
Are you going back and forth in these two? Like you're doing one that's just came out this month, and then you'll do one that comes out in September, and then one that comes out this month? Is that
no? I thought about doing that, but that's 2 sheets of paper.
Okay.
This is
but this one's September, though. I think I saw that on there.
Yes, this one actually, it was solicited in May, but is actually a September 18th.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Just coincidental. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. September 18th. Thank you for pointing that out.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
All right, we're hoping for this next one. The third time's the charm, because I've previously mentioned this in previous previews, but it just kept falling off their schedule. That's Hot Paprika by Mirka and Dolfo. This is sort of the uncensored version of Sweet Paprika. It's collected as a hardcover omnibus, $60 cover price. And it's actually on the pre-orders websites this month. So it looks like it's actually going to be a go. So if you
Wow.
were looking for it previously and kept missing it, here it is for the third time. And hopefully this is
Although it seems like you haven't had much luck with pre-orders that you were actually able to pre-order. It seems like you've got a lot of cancels coming through lately, right, Pat?
No, that's a whole other issue with Distillery. And it ended up being that they're switching publishing houses. So
okay.
That's what the deal was there.
And this Hot Paprika is not for kids.
Correct. Not for kids.
It's not for some adults.
All right.
Seriously, it's so funny. This train I've got here. Next up, Tales of the Bizarre #7, another anthology. And this is a sci-fi and horror anthology. And this is from Dren Publications After Dark, $5.99. I love this cover. This cover just jumped right out at me. I don't like the trade dress. I guess the trade dress, that's your kind of sci-fi look. Real slick. But this cover looks great. I went back and looked at issues 1 through 6. I'm like, how did I miss this? They're terrible covers.
Oh.
Yeah, it's just, I'm like, these aren't good. This one looks great. I'm excited for this. So another anthology for you. That's all I got on this one.
Okay. I have another Image book, and that's Ultra Mega is making its return. I think this has been gone for like maybe 2 years. This is James Herron's book. It's sort of like a different take on sort of the Ultraman genre. I'm going to revisit that a couple times today. A lot of Ultraman. Kevin had all the kaiju last week. Now I have to have something to battle the kaiju.
Okay.
This is an 8. Apparently, this is an 8-issue series, but it took a long hiatus. These are like double-sized, triple-sized issues. So I guess it takes them quite a while.
Yeah.
It's $8 cover price. Again, number 5 of 8. So I'm gonna have to pull mine out again and maybe reread, because I can't quite remember where we last left off. It's been so long. But it's a very enjoyable. I really do like this series. And I like the artwork. So it's back.
Awesome.
All right. Next up, we have Epitaphs from the Abyss. This is from Oni Press. This is number 1. It's 40 pages. The first issue, there's a lot of names listed this, but the big ones were Brian Azzarello, Phil Hester doing some artwork. The Lee Bermejo cover is that's really creepy.
Yeah, that is creepy.
And once again, it's another anthology book. It was all over the anthology books this year or this month.
Apparently.
We gotta love a good theme, and obviously you're right on track.
There's a foil cover for this as well, which I bet is kind of pretty cool looking with all the reflections and that fire in the background. So.
And all these covers are really old school looking, which I love. It's really cool.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Next up, we're gonna go to Kickstarter. Forget about previews for a minute. We're gonna go to Kickstarter. This first one is Screwy Tuesday art of Sean McManus. He's an artist I really do like. I follow his work. And for the last maybe 2-3 years, he's been doing these Screwy Tuesdays, where he does a black and white illustration. He throws it out there on Instagram on Tuesday. And then on Friday, he releases a color version of it. And you can kind of see what's going on there with the pics here. The black and white on the left, the color on the right. I have another one there. Spoiler alert. I had a couple more examples. But there you see the different versions. So there's soft cover, a hardcover, and a limited hardcover. The limited hardcover is only limited to 50.
Wow.
And it came with an original sketch. And when I'm talking sketch, it's more like a finished piece of art. They went really quick. They were gone before I even heard about this Kickstarter. But they were aiming for 2,500. That was their goal. And currently they're sitting at 10,090. And there's 5 days left on this Kickstarter. If you
Wow.
Soft covers 25, the hardcover's 35, and that limited hardcover that's on is 100. So
Wow. I mean, that's not bad for $100 for limited to 50. That's pretty good.
yeah, I agree. And there were some really cool. He showed about, I'd say, 20 pieces that were ready to go as the bonus for the limited hardcover. He said you could pick from one of those, and there's a lot of really good ones, or you could request your own choice. So those were probably gone within the hour that they launched this Kickstarter. So
yep. Yeah, I love when a Kickstarter just really over sells their expectations. You know, it's like 5 times what he wanted, 4 or 5 times. That's great.
And I had a conversation with I can't remember who recently about how, you know, all these artists, as soon as they make a name for themselves anywhere, it seems like they don't even need like regular publishers anymore or anything. They can just, you know, use Instagram and, you know, whatever X, you know, all these socials to just kind of get their stuff out there, and then do a Kickstarter. And, you know, it's cutting out the middleman. It seems you can do that a lot more, you know. Seems like that's the way we're moving anyway. All these, you know, Marvel, I've always said this when we have the if Marvel dies, comics dies conversation, that, you know, there's so many ways to put out good art and comics now that, you know, I disagree with you guys a little bit on that, but, you know, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a whole other show.
Right. All right, Mike.
All right. Guess what? This one is not a anthology.
Oh, man.
From Scout Comics, we have Kiva, but it is another animal book. We've had a bunch of those lately. So this is basically, this follows this abandoned dog after this nuclear holocaust or big disaster. So we just follow the exploits of this dog.
Are you sure abandoned is the right word then? You sure you don't mean all its owners have died and it's an orphan?
Well, in the description it says abandoned.
Okay.
So I'm going to go with that.
Okay.
Maybe they had to skip town or something.
They survived, but they skipped town on him. Got it.
Yeah, left their dog because people do that.
Right.
This cover is okay.
The audience is in on that one.
Yeah. This cover really didn't sell me on the book. It sounds interesting, and I probably would have passed it up. But this variant cover, I was like, man, that is awesome. So
is that a fox? That's probably what it was. You got some fox.
Yeah, it is. Let me see. This one, dog. This one, he looks pretty tough right here. I like this.
But that looks like some evil fox is his enemy or something.
Yeah,
that's up there. Yeah.
So anyway, this is the B cover, which I ordered the B cover because that looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
And this comes out in a few days on the 7th.
Nice, perfect timing.
Yeah.
All right, you may have seen this next one somewhere before, like 2 minutes before. This is the Marvel art of J.G. Jones. This is another Kickstarter. This is a Marvel branded book, but they're going the Kickstarter route. This is published by Essential Sequential, who is sort of as an art stable, an art deal represents artists. J.G. Jones, one of them. This one they were aiming for $9,500. They're currently sitting at $50,078 with 19 days to go. This comes in, again, 3 tiers: a $45 hardcover, a $65 slipcased hardcover, and then a $100 foil slipcase hardcover. No sketch here though, so I don't think you're getting as much of a bargain here, or as much as a deal as the Sean McManus book. This has, if I didn't say 19 days to go. Here's a shot. Interior, just an example of his work. That really nice Black Widow cover he did.
Yeah.
Probably a decade and a half ago. This is like a gatefold. I think there's a couple gatefold covers. It's kind of odd how they did it, though. I would have, well, whatever. It makes sense, I guess. But showcasing the artwork, and there's lots of examples if you want to go check it out. He's a really good cover artist and interesting book through Kickstarter.
Yep, that one looks like a nice size too. I mean, there's nothing. It just, to me, in that picture, I'm like, that looks like a big book.
It is. It's oversized. It's because I have the Marvel art of Arthur Adams. Unfortunately, they didn't do that as a Kickstarter, or fortunately, I don't know which way you want to talk. But his is a soft cover. This is a hard cover, but I'm assuming it's probably the same dimensions. It is oversized, so yeah, nice showcase for the artwork.
And I know I've asked you this question before, Pat, and you may have answered it, but in my memory. But anyway, yeah, why is Marvel use Kickstarter? We talked about that? Did you ever?
Yeah, it's because it's not really. It's Marvel's not publishing it. They're just giving their blessing, I think, because it's just Marvel art.
Okay.
So they're allowed to use the Marvel logo and everything, but they're not actually the ones that are putting out the money to get the publishing. Maybe they get a little cut. I don't know, but
they'll get their cut for having the Marvel logo in it, and then everything else is on them. Right. Gotcha. Okay.
Yep.
All right. This is kind of weird. I don't know what I did here. Next up, I have Feral number 5. This is a wraparound cover.
Nice.
Looks fantastic. I'm loving this series, as you all know.
Yeah.
So I just thought this one was, I've liked all the covers. This one's pretty cool with that wraparound cover. $3.99, no extra charge for the back cover.
Gotta love that.
Yep. So nothing else in particular on this one, just I'm liking this series.
We'll probably get the review on this at some point.
Yes. Probably next one.
My lone Marvel book for this month is sort of a catch up because we didn't do a previous preview when number 1 came out. This is Ultraman X Avengers number 2. This is a $5 cover price book. This is by Kyle Higgins and Matt Groom, who did the various Ultraman series for Marvel, and the art is by Francesco Mana. This cover is by Dyke Ruin. I like Dyke's work. Mike might not like Dyke because he uses colored pencils, I think. So I know Mike's not a big fan of that. I think this looks good.
Yeah, I like this. It's like when Mark Brooks uses colored pencils, it's phenomenal. It's the chalky look on colored pencils that I'm not a fan of.
Right.
But when they use it this way, yeah, this is good.
The thing that caught, I was on the fence. I can't remember if I ordered number 1 actually. There's like one of those things. Do I wait for a trade paperback or whatever? Because I think it's a 4 or 5 issue limited series. The thing that got me in the solicitation is that made me spotlight this as well, is because it says, the Avengers and Ultraman continue to fight kaiju, but here comes Galactus. So that kind of sold me on it. That's kind of an interesting take. We have Galactus coming in, we have Ultraman. So I'm interested to see what they do with that.
Yep. Yeah, that's cool. Let's see. I'm at the end of this list, but I did have, as we got 3 for the cover. The Space Ghost number 3 from Jay Lee, then Space Ghost number 3, Michael Cho, and also Pharaoh number 5 has the Dawn of the Dead from 2004 homage cover. Even though that Pharaoh, you get that for the story too, and hopefully the Space Ghost story is good. haven't seen anybody talk about that yet.
Yeah.
Some cool covers coming out of that series, though.
Yeah. Yep. Stay tuned because I have a Space Ghost number 5 to talk about on my next page.
Okay. So you said this one's out. These are out this month. This is this month still, right?
Yes. Yeah. This is the last of the July releases.
Okay.
7/24. Then Space Ghost number 3 is already out.
All right, this is my last pick here.
Dang,
for any month. Yeah, I know. For any month, this is my last one. This is UFO Robot Grendizer number 1. This is a comic book version of, an animated series from the 70s, giant robot. I'm familiar with this robot, but he's one of the more obscure. I think that I'm not sure if he actually even made it over to the US. But this is from Titan, and this is a $5 cover price. And there you see the writer is Xavier Dorison, and the art seems to be primarily by Dennis Bajram. Not familiar with either one of these. All the covers, there's many various covers for this, variant covers. They all looked great. Don't know what the story is going to be like. Not familiar with, like I said, the creative team here. It's only a 4-issue series, so yeah, we'll see. I find it a lot of times hard to capture movies and animation in comic book form. It never seems to connect with me. I've mentioned that before. We'll see here. I will say I read the Gotcha Man, G-Force, Battle of the Planets, whatever you'd like to call it, number 1 this month. And I was a little disappointed, especially in the artwork. So, it's always one of those things, whether it's going to be a hit or not when you adapt another media into comics, I think. So we'll see with this one.
Yeah, 4 issues, it might be worth taking a shot at it.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking too.
By the time you get number 1, you'll have pre-ordered the first 3.
Yeah, and you can't worry about it after that anyway.
All right. Well, since that was your last one, I have a few things I can just skip over on my next month, or the actual month. Kevin, you're muted.
Yeah, sorry. I was just saying, let me interject here. And this is perfect time for me to interject.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to point this out too. If you notice, I've got some intentionally things hanging out here behind me.
Mm-hmm.
I want to show you this because this is a pleasant surprise. Okay. I don't know if you've seen, Pat, especially, I know you pay more attention to this kind of thing, in the, collectibles aisle at Target, with all the grab bags of mystery stuff. They got a big bag that's $9.99 and it sells itself as $25 worth of value. And I actually wish I would have kept the bag too, because it's a really cool kind of classic comic look of, superhero action, $25 in value, only $9.99, right? And usually, whether they could actually argue that it is $9.99 versus worth the value in those, you open it and you're like feeling, I don't know about that, right? But check this out. So it's got a cool like obviously, how the Pops have done with the comics and stuff, an action figure with a Ghost Rider backdrop here. That's one I got in there. And then I got this cool, Amazing Spider-Man one. And you can actually pop these plastic covers off, and it's really kind of weird. I don't know whether you've ever seen anything like this before, Pat, but you can actually pop these plastic covers off, and the you can actually, this moves like an action figure, but his body is it's stuck on the comic book back, but his legs and arms move. Isn't that weird? But anyway.
Let me see the back. Do they have little feet?
Oh no, they're just
at the bottom. So how's it standing? Yeah,
it's got a,
yeah, okay, that's what I was seeing. Okay, yeah.
And then lastly, check out this Scarlet from G.I. Joe. She's a nice size too.
Yeah, I saw
So
that in the background when we first started. I was wondering about that.
yeah, and it's cool too. I mean, she looks really cool too. And you'd imagine if they were selling these would be $10 by themselves. So I think this one actually sold itself properly. And this is real high quality, thick, heavy PVC too. I'm not a big Scarlet fan, but this is pretty cool, So,
Is there a company attached to that?
you know what? Again, I should have kept that bag. But
Yeah.
maybe I'll figure that out in the future. But Jessie got me that because she got a bunch of other stuff for me for my birthday. That this was what I opened literally on my birthday because I already cheated and opened up everything else prior. So she just got me as kind of a fun thing, and I opened it. It was really cool. So I just thought I'd share that. If you see that $9.99 bag, again, I wish I had kept the bag, but selling itself as $25 worth of value at Target, in my opinion, it actually follows through on that advertising on the packaging. So check that out at Target now. You can get it now.
Yeah, NECA was doing that for a while.
It might have been NECA. Yeah.
But usually it seemed like it was like they swept the warehouse floor and put it in those bags.
Yeah.
But those actually looked like pretty good items you got there. So I don't
Yeah.
know. And I don't recognize those as NECA products either. So maybe it's some other company.
Yeah. Anyway, I thought I'd share that too. All right, Mike.
All right. Let me run through some of these. Once again, Walking Dead Deluxe 97. This starts the Something to Fear storyline, which leads up to issue 100. And once again, here they've changed the font on stuff. They've changed the color. So, and these covers all go together real nicely, make a cool set. I think it was the second and third printings of the initial run had Negan holding the back of the all connected, which was really cool. And those were kind of hard to come by. I'm wondering if they'll do second printings of these and do the same thing, which would be great. Then maybe I can get that artwork. So once again, Walking Dead Deluxe. This is a fun storyline for everyone except for Glenn.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Have you been keeping up on the whole Negan and Glenn's wife show? What's that called again?
City of the Dead or something like that.
So does that mean no, you didn't keep up on it and finish it or anything?
Yeah, we watched the whole thing. I was not impressed.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not up on any of the new stuff.
All right. Sorry, Mike.
That's right. And last month I would have done Frankenstein, Universal Monsters Frankenstein #1, but here's #2. Hopefully you got #1 ordered. We'll see how this is. The Creature from the Black Lagoon book is really good. The Dracula was good, so I have high hopes for this. I don't know what this is going to follow. I don't think this is going to follow the kind of like Dracula followed the actual movie. These two, the Black Lagoon and this one, I don't know if they're following any pre-published stuff, all new stuff here.
Is that yeah? I love that B cover on this. That's all. Is that the B cover in the bottom right there?
Yeah, that's the one I ordered. I ordered the B cover.
That's awesome.
I do like that one. Then for fans of Jeff Lemire, he's got a new ongoing story. This is from Boom, and he's doing everything, writing and all the artwork. And this one he said is going to be, like 50 to 60 issues, I think. This is going to be a long-running title. And Minor Arcana #1. And he actually said that each issue is going to have a tarot card variant, which I was like, oh, that's cool. I'll just get that set. But they're all I think that's going to be the 1 in 10 variant.
Mm.
Right. Well, issue #1 it's 1 in 10. So I'm out. I'll get the A cover only. I'm not going to chase those, even though it'll make a nice set.
But I don't think 1 in 10s with Boom equal $10 though. Do they?
If you order 1 in 10s through DCBS, I think they're usually like $20. Things from Another World will have 1 in 10s for less than $10. They'll usually discount them down to $8, sometimes $6. It all varies, but I'm struggling getting the 1 in 10s for the sacrificers. Sometimes things from another world they don't have it, so I've got to go to eBay for them.
Yeah, doing multiple 1 in 10 whole series is rough. Yeah.
Yeah, and if this is going to be
one is rough, yeah.
and if this is going to be 50 plus issues, man, I'm not that dedicated to. If I miss one, then it's all shot.
Right.
So, for those that have the tenacity to do it, go for it. Here we go. I just touched on Hello Darkness number 1. This is number 2. Comes out August 28th. And number 3 is actually solicited now for September 25th. And Jenny Frisian is actually the B cover. I know we got a lot of Jenny fans.
A lot of risqueness on that one.
Yeah, so made it a little bit smaller. Has got a couple more. I'm really looking forward to this one. Batman the Barbarian, number 1, coming out September 18th. It doesn't say that this is an Elseworlds book, but obviously it's going to be an Elseworlds.
Gotta be. Right.
And this is from Greg Smallwood. I think he's writing and doing the artwork, I think. There's a Dan Panosian foil variant for this, which I haven't found a copy of yet. I pre-ordered the foil variant from Dan Panosian. I think that one's going to be great. And this is 40 pages for $4.99. Not bad.
Yeah.
It's going to be 6 issues. 2 more things, and then we'll wrap this up. Detective Comics 400 facsimiles coming out for $3.99. So it says $3.99, which is great for if you want this in the cheap versions, low grades are $150. We've got the first appearance of Man-Bat.
Yeah.
Neil Adams on the cover there. So this is well worth. I don't get all the facsimiles, but for Detective and Batman, stuff like that, I'm not going to go out. Or actually, no, I do have this one, but some of the other ones are a little too pricey for me to get.
Yeah, I'm going to grab this one. That's awesome. Yeah.
And finally, for the covers, Wolverine number 1, Patrick Gleason. This is I think I wrote it down. Yeah, it's called an Animanium Head foil cover.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So $4.99 cover price on that. There, another Michael Cho Space Ghost. I love this one. I think this one's so much better than the other one that I shared.
Agreed.
Yeah. So this is really great. And another Wolverine number 1, the Kari Andrews variant, which looks pretty cool. He's doing his best McFarlane. It's like a cross between McFarlane and Stephen Platt, just mushing them together.
So, yeah, when you turned me on to it was during Cover Combat. Got that Wolverine number 1, which I've been so kind of out of it lately that it wasn't even real. I didn't even realize there was a reboot coming until you showed me that for the first time in Cover Combat, and so then I went searching for it then, since you mentioned it, of course, and I saw this cover and I was like, what? That is awesome.
Yeah.
This adamantium, I called it it's an adamantium X-ray kind of, whatever, it's cool.
Yeah. It'd be cool to see how it looks in foil.
Yeah, you'd imagine and hope it'd be so much cooler but it's cool even not foil. So
yeah. So I ordered a copy of that for myself. But actually, I don't think anybody really touched on it. What's the other Wolverine book? Is it Wolverine Revenge?
Something like that.
Yeah, Chris Claremont is writing that one. So I'm actually going to pick up that book over this new Wolverine series.
What did you say, Pat? Did you say
something like it? I thought I was thinking about the book by Jonathan Hickman and Greg Capullo, though.
Oh, maybe that's Wolverine Revenge. What did I see? Son of a gun. I'm putting out bad information. Don't listen to me. I thought Chris Claremont was writing a Wolverine book.
So there's going to be 3 new Wolverine series out. Is that what you're speculating on, Mike?
I don't know. I could be wrong. There's definitely what Patrick said, the Hickman Capullo book. That might be the Wolverine Revenge. And then we've got this, the new ongoing Wolverine. I swear I thought Claremont was writing a Wolverine book. I was excited about that. Well, we'll look it up. Tune in next week for the answer.
Okay.
All right. So that's my quick breakdown. There you go.
Well, that was awesome. So I'm like I said, I'm going to taper off the end here with this cool thing. Again, this is another gift I got. And this is very cool for multiple reasons, and it is Star Wars Oreos.
Nice.
I don't think we've ever highlighted any food products on the show before. Pat, are you familiar with these?
Yeah, I've seen them.
So first of all, this highlights cover or art by Greg Hildebrandt, and the packaging is phenomenal. You know, it's one of those things. Obviously, I don't. You know, I'm not doing it anymore, but for many moons, I would collect a lot of food packaging.
Yeah.
Had a whole collection of food packaging. You know, shout out to Coke with the different characters on their Coke cans right now too, which I thought they were all just going to be red, chosen specifically red costume characters, because the only ones I've got were Daredevil and Elektra, and then Deadpool, and I think Karen actually might have pointed out to me that no, it's got other characters besides for red characters, but they make them all red just because of Coke cans. But anyway, I'm not talking about Coke can. Karen, remind me of that character that you pointed out to me that isn't red that's on that can when you get a second. But anyway, aside from the great packaging for this Star Wars Oreo cookies, the cookies are special too in a couple ways. So when you open up the pack, it could be either red cream-filled cookies or blue cream-filled cookies. So, you know, it's kind of like one of those, irony, Karen, thank you. It was Wolverine that's on the last Coke cans she showed me. But anyway, I was trying to joke about when Wolverine had a red costume, but I failed. It didn't happen. But anyway, so you know, it's when you buy these Oreos and you open them, it tells you what your destiny is.
Ah, I see.
Destiny is diabetes.
Yeah, maybe so.
I see. I thought it was red and blue. I thought they alternated them in there. Now I see dark side or light side.
Yeah, the whole entire pack is one color. And what's funny about this too is when I saw this in the store, of course I grabbed it, and then someone also got me one. I think it was for Father's Day. Or no, whatever. This time of year I get so many special occasions, but anyway. So I actually got a second pack, and I gave that to my son Max when he was home over the 4th of July. And Max hoped he opened red, and I, of course, was hoping for blue. But it ended up being the exact opposite. Max got blue, and I got red. So apparently my destiny is the dark side, you know, which makes me a little sad. But, you know, I can handle it. Whatever. But then also, lastly...
Silver lining, your son's destiny is blue. So there you go.
Yeah, that's true. That is a good silver lining. Yeah. Oh, Karen's correcting me again, which no surprise. Karen says, no. She got Max a pack for his belated birthday because Max's birthday's in May, but he's a Marine, and this is the first time he was actually home in a year for the 4th of July. So, Karen, yeah, thanks for that correction. Okay, so it was actually Max. Okay, it was Max's that Karen bought him, and then I just bought one for myself because I saw the art, and it's sick. And I was hoping, you know, you open it up and you get a cool poster in there or something, but no, it's just cool packaging to throw away, which breaks your heart, doesn't it? I mean, you know, but anyway, last thing about this is it's not just flavored or colored cream with your same classic actually I had 2 more things. This is super cool. This is like probably the best thing food wise that I've had in a long time like this. But first of all, the cream is not just a color. Karen says she's buying more packs. Okay. But it also has crystals in it, like a kyber crystal thing, because it's lightsabers, blah, blah. And yeah, when you eat it, it kind of reminded you, what's that stuff, the pops that would pop in your mouth or whatever? Remember those?
Pop Rock.
Yeah, Pop Rocks. That's what it reminded me of when I was eating them.
That's kind of cool. Different.
Yeah.
It's different than just a regular Oreo then.
Yeah, it's not just a regular Oreo either.
Fiber-inspired sugar crystals.
Yeah, it's money. It tastes good. Again, it leads you to the dark side of diabetes, like Pat said again. Even more. It is good. It is good. And then lastly, and this was, again, I don't even think this is on the packaging stating it, but each Oreo has a character on it. You're looking at the packaging there. It just says Oreo. Each Oreo has a character on it. And it's not the same character. The entire pack is an Oreo imprint of all different Star Wars characters.
That's funny.
Isn't that insane? Pat?
Yeah. Cool. Oreo seems to like doing this. They've been doing this for a few years where they've been licensing out or making special editions. I remember the Pokemon from a few years ago. Valor, we got like a really rare one in one of our packs, and we still have it sitting in a Ziploc bag because he was going to sell it. He was going to put it up on eBay because it was going for some money at the time.
Oh, wow.
Like one individually rare Oreo?
Yes.
That's awesome. Love it.
That's what I told when we were looking through. Of course, this is a way to make all your food not last very long either, because we're searching through every Oreo for everyone's miscellaneous favorite characters, And of course, we found Boba Fett. And then that's what my family said. They're like, you need to keep that. I'm like, what am I going to do with this?
It's a cookie with a character on it. I'm just kidding.
Exactly.
That'd be cool if they did a chess set where you pull the Oreos out and there's a bunch of pawns on there and there's like a king and a queen and you can put them on a chessboard and play chess.
Oh, that's genius, Mike. Yeah, see, the packaging just lays out like a chessboard.
Yeah. Oreo, years ago, Kevin, I don't know if you remember this. We actually contacted Oreos because I think Ty had this idea to do red, white, and blue ones and call them Glorios. So,
oh, no, I don't remember that. That's awesome.
This is when we all lived on Benicia, and we emailed Oreo, and they're like, oh, thanks for reaching out to us, but we don't take outside ideas. I'm like, well, you guys are missing out because this is a good idea.
And especially since you just kind of gave them the idea in your reaching out to them, they could have just done it anyway and just ignored you ever existed.
Yeah, I don't think we told them exactly. Maybe we did.
Oh.
I just remember reaching out, and they're like, no, we have people. Obviously they do. I remember they had the Game of Thrones Oreos not a few years ago, 5 or 6 years ago.
This is the first packaging I've seen Oreo do, I think maybe ever, or the one that I've noticed. I didn't know they were doing all this regularly. I'm gonna have to check the Oreo aisle out more often. I guess.
Those Game of Thrones packs were selling for like $30 on eBay.
Wow.
I ate mine.
But anyway, there we go. Finishing out the previous preview.
Finishing strong.
Those are the best tasting, coolest looking Oreos I've ever had in my entire. It was so exciting. It's one of those. Again, I was surprised with this grab bag from Target. I was surprised with some great areas. I was surprised with some great Oreos. It was a pretty good holiday season for me this year. It was awesome. So, all right. So back to our regular scheduled programming. I don't know if there's anything regular about our scheduling lately, though. Sorry about it, people. Thanks for everyone checking us out in our intermittent, crazy scheduling life. So anyway, let's get into talking about what I've watched or my choice things, because I've watched a lot, but this is my choices for today. Okay. Thank you, studio audience. Okay, so first of all, I can't remember. I saw some TikTok or something on some social, and they were, I have a lot of '80s stuff in my feed, and they were talking about Gremlins, and in passing, but it was the biggest thing that I noticed during whatever this was that they're like, oh, Gremlins Secret of the Mogwai streaming now. So I was like, what? Mike, did you know there's a new Gremlins show out?
No.
Yeah. Isn't that cool?
I don't know. Oh, I'll
Just
wait
the
to
thought
hear.
of it.
If the thought of it is, yeah, I'll wait to hear if it's actually cool.
Right. What were you gonna say? Sorry.
I said it. I said I'll wait to hear if it's gonna be cool.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay. So here it is. So here's the first. This was disappointing for me. It might be the same for you, Mike, but it's animated.
Yeah, I'm not interested.
I know. I was a little disappointed when I first saw that it was animated, because I was thinking it was going to be some kind of Gremlins, and this is a series on
animation.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of this animation either, but this is a series on HBO Max. Full season's out already. I think it actually came out, may have come out in 2022, I believe. It's been a bit. Okay.
Wow.
But yeah, I figured, since I was excited about it being live action, I can get down with some anime, of course. So I figured I might as well check it out, right?
Yeah.
No, this has been when you were just like, I'm checking out. That's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to check it out. Hey, Pat, were you aware of this?
I've heard about it, but I had, no HBO Max for me. So
Right. Yeah. So, this is definitely more targeting towards kids, but it does sell itself as a horror. Which, you know how Gremlins, I've always been conflicted with Gremlins 2 and Gremlins 2. It always sells itself as a horror. I guess it kind of has to, because of some, few moments, but overall, they're definitely not horror-y. Didn't you mention one time, Mike, that especially, there's a part in Gremlins 2 that gave you nightmares or something like that? What was that? You know what I'm talking about?
I don't remember.
Maybe it was one of your kids got nightmares from it or something.
I had the idea to watch Gremlins with the kids, and this is probably like around 2015, so they were still fairly young. And then I watched it because I hadn't watched it in years, and I thought, no, this will give them nightmares.
Oh, okay. You just determined it was too scary for them at that point. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. So anyway, this wouldn't fall in that category. I'm really surprised they gave it a horror tagline, or a description in HBO Max. But this is pretty cool. You get origin, Gremlin stuff, which we talk about. Loving the old lore on what we know and love now, and that's kind of what happens here. There's a Mogwai island with thousands of Mogwai, and the Mogwai are attacked by a bunch of buzzards. It reminded me totally of the Smurfs at first, and it's that kind of animation too. But these buzzards come down and they attack the Mogwai island. And the Mogwai, incidentally, if you didn't know, Pat, live like hobbits. They have little huts in the dirt. But they don't speak English. They just speak, their gurgly thing, whatever, however you do that, But anyway, so the buzzards are attacking, and of course, Gizmo is the one Mogwai that gets knocked off of the island onto this floating stick that kind of takes him far away. And there are some wizards that are aware of Mogwai Island, have been trying to find it forever. So when they find out Gizmo exists, now the adventure is these two kids on the cover of this poster you see, they're trying to get Gizmo back to Mogwai Island. It's got a different name. It's not called Mogwai Island. It's got some special name I can't remember right now. But these kids' parents know that what happens when you have Mogwai around for too long, because Mogwai took out a major district in China back in 200 AD, like long time ago. Like there's history books talking about how a Mogwai landed and destroyed the country, because obviously the 3 rules. Do you remember the 3 rules, Mike?
Don't feed them after midnight. Don't get them wet.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't remember the other one, but I'm sure when you tell me, I'll remember.
Pat, do you remember the 3rd one?
It's not about the bright light, is it? No.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, don't expose them to bright light.
Yeah, okay.
Bright light will kill them. Water will make them breed, essentially. and yeah, feeding them after midnight is when they turn into their horror side of this whole fun fest. Yeah. So
at the beginning of Gremlins, having one Mogwai is awesome. Having a bunch of them, terrible.
Yeah, exactly. And that's just how this cartoon goes, and it's fine. This definitely leans into a lot of wizardry and witchcraft. Like I said, there's a bad sorcerer that's trying to get the Mogwai to kind of control them, to basically take over China. And everybody else just wants them out of their lives, even though Gizmo, of course, is super cute.
It is like the Smurfs with Gargamel and all them.
Say that again.
It is like the Smurfs then. Gargamel.
Yeah, right. Yeah, totally put me into Smurf thoughts. But anyway, as far as a cartoon that's basically, I would say, directed towards kids, I'm gonna give this a solid 8, 7.5, 8. It's good, just not my key. Yeah. So I think if you got kids and you like Gremlins as a kid, and you want to really kind of get your kids into Gremlins without having to show them some 80s stuff that they'll probably dismiss as, man, this is trash. Look at that, this is where you go. Gremlins: Secret of the Mogwai on HBO Max.
This makes me start to question the Gremlins lore. It's like if these Mogwai are all living on an island by themselves, how do they police themselves for not eating after midnight? And that leads me to, is it midnight on Mogwai Island time, or midnight in United States time, or China midnight, or whatever? So,
yeah.
I don't know.
Those are very good questions. Patrick. And kind of along the same vein, but different. I was thinking same thing. I'm like, these. You kind of always thought of Gizmo as kind of just this animal, like he's just this cute koala bear that has he's just, living life, and there's no intelligence there. But for them to have their whole island and a whole village, they're obviously sentient beings, they can, so, but it's a cartoon throwaway kind of, you're not supposed to think that deeply. So I dismissed all that as anything to criticize it about, so. But I'm totally tracking with everything you're saying, Pat.
What time does after midnight end?
What you mean? What? Oh, because technically 11 a.m. is after midnight, even though it's almost noon, right?
Yeah. When is after midnight end?
See, now you're destroying the whole Gremlins universe. It should say, don't feed them after midnight, but before 6 a.m. or something like that.
Between midnight and 4.
Right.
Give me a window.
Big fail on the Gremlin. We need answers, Gremlins people. All right. Anyway, comment below.
Yeah, I'm sure the answer's out there.
Yeah. All right. Then there's something I was excited for until I actually started watching it. No, I'm just kidding. But I was excited, or I keep spoiler alert by using past tense. This is I.S.S. International Space Station. This started streaming, I think, last month. And I didn't realize it until, I'm just surfing for something new to watch. But this is on Paramount Plus. Are you guys familiar with this?
No.
I wasn't until this week, as a matter of fact. I heard some other podcasters talking about it.
Okay, really? Okay. So there's nobody of significant mention, at least as far as what I'm aware of, as far as actors and actresses are concerned. No offense to those actors and actresses. I'm just old and I'm out of the loop. You know, these might be super big stars now for all I know. But none of them are familiar faces to me. But I saw the trailer for this when it was actually out in theaters. I was thinking about seeing it in theaters because obviously I'm a big sci-fi guy. Of course, didn't make it. So I was excited when I saw this was actually streaming. It was then my next choice after I saw that. I'm like, sweet. And the premise here is, so of course the International Space Station is a Russian and American astronauts working together to do space stuff in a team effort with the space station, right? So of course in this movie, and this is Mike, this is going to sound cool to you. You're going to want to see this after I say this, okay?
Okay.
So they're in the International Space Station working together to do the space stuff, being all cool comrades. They're, you know, doing space stuff during the day, drinking together, partying with each other at night, having a good old time, buddy. But then guess what happens, Pat?
Something bad.
Nuclear. Oh, Pat or Mike, go ahead.
War between the U.S. and Russia. So now on Earth, their respective countries are fighting. So now what? All of a sudden they need, they're like, oh, everyone back there is fighting. So we should fight.
Exactly, Mike. That sounds pretty cool, doesn't it?
It does. But if I was up there and like, dude, I'm not. We're good to go up here.
Well, I mean, as far as the viewer, and to complicate matters even more, like I obviously slipped a little bit already, it's nuclear holocaust war. It's not just like Russia and America, you know, beefing all of a sudden. It is they both sent nukes.
Yeah.
So, you know, the astronauts are looking through the little window from the International Space Station and seeing nuclear bombs going off all over the Earth, right?
Jeez.
So, and of course, you can imagine with these nuclear bombs going off, now all communication is shot, right?
Yep.
So there's a major lack of information aside from what they can see, which is it's very vivid what they can see. And all this is really cool. This is like the first 15, 20 minutes. This is awesome, right? This all sounds really cool. And obviously it was really well done too. The acting's great, writing's fine. You know, it's all exciting as heck. And to make matters worse too, you know, of course, every movie, it's kind of cliche. Whenever communications go out, what do they use to communicate with each other, Mike?
Soup can and a string.
No, Pat, you got a guess?
No, that was going to be my guess.
No, Morse code. You know, so all communication shot, but you can still right. So they've got this system that they can, of course, communicate that way, and of course, yeah.
Okay. So I guess somebody at the Earth, at NASA at Earth is still okay, because it's not like we're going to be talking to the space station,
right? Exactly. You know, some bunker that they had ready. Yeah. For in case of nuclear holocaust, you know, communicates to them. Of course, what do both of the countries say to the astronauts up there? It's like, hey, America sucks. Mm-hmm. You need to take control of the I.S.S. And of course, the Americans are like, hey, Russia sucks now. You need to take control. So it's not only them starting to worry about how the world's going, but it's also their leaders have told them, hey, you're America's last stand up there, basically. Yeah. You know what I mean? You're Russia's last stand up there. So even though, like I said, they've been kind of all like partying together and they're all buddy now, all of a sudden their countries, and of course they're astronauts, so they're basically military, you know, their countries have told them, hey, go at it, you know. So it's not even this moral choice on their own. It's you know, their respective countries are telling them they need to do it, right?
Yeah. What would you do? I'd be like, look, there's nuclear fallout down there. They're all Dunsky.
I don't know what I'd do now, but you know, when I was actually in the Marine Corps, man, Mike, it's you don't question, and that's kind of how they sell it too. You don't question authority. You know, half of them are, you don't question authority, just do it, and then the other half's like, no, how, blah blah blah, right? You know.
So there's even more comfort there.
Exactly. So all that sounds exciting as heck. That sounds like good quality writing. This is going to be great as far as I'm concerned. Do you guys agree with that in general? Everything we've talked about so far?
Yep.
Yeah.
Your tone doesn't lead me to believe that, though.
Man, okay. Yeah, let's hear it goes. Okay.
You sound disappointed. Oh, no.
So literally everything I just said, all that cool stuff happens in the first, like I said, 15, 20 minutes, right? The whole rest of the movie is the exact polar opposite of everything I just said. It is the least exciting, not written well as far as trying to kind of make you feel the drama. In my opinion, it just doesn't fulfill its destiny. In my opinion, it's just so missing something. Like I said, the acting's fine. It's actually, the writing's not too bad. It's just they fail on the, to continue the excitement of the way I just sold it in the first 15, 20 minutes. And then, spoiler alert, but to make matters even worse, at the end, there's really no conclusion. Like there's so many ways for this to go. Literally at the end, there's just two of them survive, one from each faction. They hop in an escape pod and just head back to the Earth. That's it. That's how it ends. So disappointing. Could have been so good. I love the prospect. Exactly. I love the prospect of how good this could have been, but it just misses the mark. I could obviously get into more details, but no reason to put you through that. But I.S.S. on Paramount Plus, I'm going to give this like a 4, and it would probably be a 2 if the idea of it wasn't so awesome to me. But yeah, like a 4, man. I see why this didn't make any waves in theater either, man. It was amazing to me how much of a letdown this was. But it's streaming free now, so if you got HBO Max, maybe check it out, because it's got definitely the first 15, 20 minutes, check it out. It's cool effect, cool excitement there, but the rest is, whatever.
Yeah, I'll at least watch 20 minutes.
Yeah. All right, and then I think Pat was the first one to turn us on to this last one I got here. And this is Mike's jam. Beekeeper, the Beekeeper.
Yeah, I need to see this. My parents saw this and said it was really good.
Jason Statham. Okay, that's cool. Did anybody else watch this yet?
No.
I'm guessing though that I can say that being a beekeeper isn't as exciting as what they make it out to be. Because it's kind of hot and sweaty and frustrating and hurts your back and you get stung and all that. But go ahead, what happens?
Well, that's the first thing I'll tell you about this, Mike, is the way this poster looks, and obviously us having a beekeeper like you in our lives, the first thing you think is beekeeping. But this is a play on words, Mike.
But why do they have all these bees on there?
Because he does that in his spare time. He's also a beekeeper.
Okay, that's what I thought. That's what I figured. Like that's his. He's like, oh look, he's just a beekeeper, but actually, he's actually some kind of international, killer.
Yeah, exactly, Mike. Beekeeper is the code word that the U.S. government uses for these international killers too.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
So he's a beekeeper in the literal sense that he keeps bees, but he's also a beekeeper. Like,
so now out in the real world, I've got to say, oh yeah, I'm a beekeeper, but no, I'm like a real beekeeper. I'm not like
that kind of beekeeper.
I'm not a government beekeeper.
Right, exactly.
I don't have a bunch of side jobs that I can't.
So, I mean, I really don't need to get too deep into this to just say, as you can imagine, this is a super ridiculous, hyper speed thrill ride of action with Jason Statham. Jason, in my opinion, Jason Statham was projecting Bruce Lee in this one to me. He was like, it was so awesome the way he kicked butt in this, which I think I've seen pretty much all Jason Statham stuff, but this definitely did have a little bit of extra special kick butt action, So if you're in for a mindless, simple action thrill ride where, it's all, just unbelievably ridiculous that could happen, check this out. Okay. A Beekeeper. I think this is on Paramount Plus as well. Paramount Plus comes out with a lot of big movies first, but I could be, Karen, fact check me on that one. I could be confusing things, and of course I don't write stuff down. So, but and I will say this too with the Beekeeper, there are some annoying things that you said your parents thought it was really good. I walked away with a few shaking my head things about this that I'm not going to get into, but overall action packed, numb just watching an action movie. This is a solid 8, but I'd say as far as quality of a movie that I enjoyed how I felt about it, I walked away with it like a 6.5 because of the stupid things that I don't want to get into. But this movie's crazy. And and the way they get into it's great too. He's a the beekeeper actually keeping bees. He's retired beekeeper, so he's making honey and he's just giving it to this. It puts in every, it's so hard when we reach our age putting all kinds of movies together. You know how Roadhouse, he lived out in the barn with the old man and trouble comes, and then Patrick Swayze has to whip out all his skills. I guess I should be referencing Jake Gyllenhaal now with the new Roadhouse, but anyway, he's giving honey to this old lady, and then trouble comes for the old lady, and now he's got to use his skill that he got as a beekeeper to, that kind of thing. So that's how they kind of lead into it. So anyway, Beekeeper.
Yeah, it's definitely
say it again, Mike.
It's definitely on my radar to watch.
I would definitely suggest you watch it. And that's what I would say to everyone, even though I'm giving this a personal 6.5. I would definitely say anybody's interested in action, just check this out. There's definitely more fun than not in this. That's for sure. So, Karen, did you fact check me on what this is on? No. Okay. All right. That's it for me though. With what Kevin watched this week though. Let me take that down real quick.
Also,
I did want to make mention of something that I don't know if you've Prime Minister. Amazon Prime. Hey, I don't know if this is on y'all's radar or not yet, but Godzilla X King Kong is streaming free now on Paramount Plus as well.
Yeah, I want to watch it. I really don't like that scene where they're running.
I know we've said that a couple times, but it's streaming free, Mike. You got Paramount Plus, right?
Yeah, I'll watch it.
Yeah, you gotta check it out.
Yeah.
So I will say, I know we're having another show next week. We're not skipping a week. So I'll definitely get Godzilla King Kong in. But then, Pat, I was going to also tell you, too, because we've been talking about the Acolyte a lot lately in our group. Everyone's been talking about it everywhere. The next show after that one, I'm going to have all the Acolytes watched because the final episode happens this next week, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
So we'll be talking about Acolyte in the time after next for sure. But stay tuned next week for Godzilla Kong. Maybe you want to wait for me to watch it to tell you whether you can get past. In my opinion, if you can get past the running scene, Mike.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it.
You gonna beat me to it next week?
Yeah, I'll watch it this week. It's a King Kong Godzilla movie. I've got to watch it.
Exactly.
Love those guys.
We haven't had a mutual review in a while, too. You going to get it in this week, too, Pat?
Probably not, but we'll see.
Okay. Well, maybe we'll be pleasantly surprised next week then. Okay, but enough of that. Are we ready for the pick 3, Mike?
Yep. Thanks to Pat, we are ready.
Facts. All right.
Okay. All right. Let me put this up here. Like I said, thanks to Pat, we've got this list. I'm going to get one. I actually completely forgot about it last night. He scrambled, put these 10 together, and I'm grateful for it because these are really good covers this week. We'll start off with Batman Superman World's Finest 29, David LaFuente. Then Blood Hunt number 2, I think it's the second printing, Lionel Francis Yu. Then Catwoman 67, David Nakayama. Dark Knights of Steel, what is it? Alien. I don't know. It's the new Dark Knights of Steel. This is the 1 in 25 Dan Panosian cover.
Oh, man. That's
all winter.
What?
All winter.
All
winter.
winter. Okay, it looks like Alien something.
That's a 1 in 25, though. Dadgummit, I wanted that one anyway.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I love that. It's anything Dan Panosian, I think is good.
Yeah.
Then we've got Namor number 1, Alexander Lozano. Rat City number 4, Mark Spears. That's in the Spawn world. Scarlet Witch number 2, Russell Duderman. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Superman 16, the Frank Cho variant, and then Titans 13, Chris Samney, and Namor, Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe number 1, Joshua Sarah. And these are 10 covers chosen from a list of 426, and they all hit spinner racks the 17th this week.
Very nice.
Yep. Yeah, let me see what was that 1 in 25. I'll see what Things from Another World has that for.
Okay.
So yeah, well, before we get into it, I this is something I just started a couple weeks ago. Everything got at least one vote except for one cover. So once we're all done, you guys can pick out which cover didn't get any votes.
That's surprising this week, actually.
Yep. And I wanted to ask Pat, it's because it was interesting to see his list and then his 3. How hard is it for you to pick 3 out of the 10 that you've picked?
Yeah, I would say there was 5 I really wanted to vote for. So
yeah,
I didn't even think of that. That is interesting with him picking all 10. Is this the first time you've ever picked all 10 where you had to pick 3 out of your own all 10, or Pat?
No, I think we did April Fool's Day, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know how I'd deal with that. Yeah, that'd be tough. So tough.
I don't know. This looks so. Things from Another World has that cover as the cover C for $4.19.
Well, that's a Virgin. You sure you're looking at the Virgin?
I think so.
Huh.
I just ordered it.
The rare Pat Air. Did that happen? Pat's like, I don't know.
Sorry, I didn't hear you, Kevin. What'd you say?
I said the rare event of Pat making an error. Is that what happened?
Oh, I don't know.
No, I mean, Pat has it listed as cover E. This is cover C. So, and that has the DC logo. This one actually is doesn't have that. So it may be a version of it. You know, a lot of times they have the same cover.
Yeah.
Just different things. So you wanted a copy, Kevin?
Yes, I do. I need to get that whole run. Yeah. Yeah.
Or I'm just ordering this cover for you. You get the rest.
Okay, cool. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Yep. Okay, so I guess we'll get to the winners and then we can discuss our thoughts on all of them.
All right.
All right. Let me make sure I've got this right. In third place, we have Batman Superman World's Finest, number 29.
Daggum. I'm just going to let this out right now because this has been revealed as third. I would have guessed that this is the one that didn't get a pick.
Wow.
If someone in my house didn't pick it. That's what I was going to say. I know it was picked because someone in my house picked it. But this would have been my guess had I not known that. Just because there's just too much. There's too much going on in this one.
It's funny you say there's too much going on because Marcus actually said he loved this one because there's so much going on,
Right.
but he can read it all. He's like, but I can tell everything.
That's true. I mean, it is done well. I was just thinking and again, you know, we look at a reason to drop ones off, and this is why I was thinking that because there was a lot. But yeah, that's the opposing point of view, which is valid too. There's so much going on. It's cool. Yeah, I totally get that. Yeah.
Usually collage type covers I'm not a fan of because they're so busy.
Yeah.
This one I didn't
Landing.
look.
Sticks landing. Yeah.
All right. And then in second place, just want to make sure I have these in the right order. All right. We have Scarlet Witch number 2, Russell. I'm guessing that's Doderman.
Daughterman.
Okay. Yeah. Now this one, Marcus said the complete opposite because I can't tell what's going on in this one.
This was also not one of my votes.
Mm-hmm.
Was this one of your votes yet, Pat?
Yeah, I'm 2 for 2, but I don't think I'm gonna clean sweep it.
I'm 0 for 2. Where are you, Mike?
0 for 2. 0 for. This one kind of has. It's almost like the yin and yang, layout to it. With the way Quicksilver.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I didn't even notice that. Yeah, I
kinda
thought this cover looked cool, and Scarlet Witch looks awesome.
Mhm.
But yeah, again, it was too much, so that's why it wasn't my pick. But anyway,
Yeah, I like everything in a minute. I think if the background had been a different color, everything else would have stood out a little bit better.
yeah, maybe, yeah.
So what I did was go ahead and I just used that same over coloring of orangish red and
Sharpied it.
and made a graphic with it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
My one complaint about the book, it's just hitting me right now. My one complaint about the book, I went and did more of it.
You doubled down on it, right? All right.
All right, and number 1, drum roll, Karen. All right, Blood Hunt, number 2, the second printing, Lionel Francis Yu. Yeah, I like it. Let me think. Yep. Hey, I picked this one.
I did too. I got 1 right out of the 3. Pat,
I guess if you're gonna get 1 right.
Did you go 3 for 3?
No, although I do like this cover, this is one I threw in for the audience.
It worked.
This is 3 for 3. Got it, Karen.
Yep.
Does Blade become Spider-Man now? Because it has the opposite effects. You know, when spider bites turn you into a Spider-Man, if you bite a Spider-Man, does that turn you into? How's that work, Pat?
Man, don't give him ideas.
Special event next month coming from Marvel.
Right.
Spider Blade.
Yeah, Spider Blade. It's so funny. That's how they do these characters now. It's like, hey, we created a new character. No, you just took two other characters you had and stuck them together.
Which sometimes that works. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's really cool though, for sure. Absolutely.
Yep. My favorite part is just how awesome Miles's face looks. I mean, that's just really well done.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. You know, actually, too, looking at that picture more, he's actually biting into that beefy, meaty muscle part of the shoulder rather than the neck, you know?
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Maybe he was aiming for the neck, but, you know, of course, Smiles is fast. He could lean forward really quick. Yeah.
Right. Or he might have a protection. You know, that's how Marines got the leather neck nickname.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Pieces of leather around their neck.
Has anybody been reading any Blood Hunt? You know, the whole crossover? No.
Okay. The 60 issue crossover?
Yeah.
No.
All right. Yeah, you want to put up the 10?
Oh, yeah. So there we go. There's our 3. And guesses on which one didn't receive any votes.
Pat, you want to go first?
I'm gonna guess Titans.
Okay, I'm going to actually agree with Pat, but my first one would have been World's Finest, but I know someone in my house picked it. My second one would have been Namor, but someone in my house picked it. So yeah, I'm actually going to go with Titans as well. Yeah.
Namor actually did really well. It's, you know, it came in, it was a 1, 2, 3, 4, it was a 5-way tie for 4th place.
Wow. Okay.
And Namor was one of those. You're both correct. It was Titans.
Okay.
And I think that one is coloring for me. You know, I like Samney's artwork. It's just coloring's off on it.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
But,
you know, imagine being able to draw well enough. Well, this might be the whole digital thing too, but you know, drawing well enough and coloring or whatever you have to do to express that Catwoman suit elasticity and the plasticness or whatever, all the reflect so perfectly to where that just jumps out at you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, Mike?
Yeah, it's called white. Put white on everything. It looks shiny.
Yeah, that's a great cover.
Yep. It was funny when Mark went through these, the Frank Cho Superman. He's like, I don't know what's going on here with this one. And then when he voted for that one. I was like, dude, you're just trashing it. He goes, yeah, but it looks good.
Right.
So funny. But that was one that I had voted for.
Yeah, I really like that cover. I think it suffers from having to be formatted in a comic book cover because the characters end up being very small.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the way they had to do it to get the gag across. So
yeah, because Superman is, you know, he's got the horizontal, so he's pointing this way, and then she's vertical. It's yeah, very good.
That is a cheat magic trick.
it's hard to tell looking at it here, but if you see it full size, Superman's actually winking too.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's really cool. All right.
There we go.
Great job, Pat and Mike.
That was all Pat. And it was funny. When, Johnny sent me his pick. He's like, hey, great covers this week. I was like, thanks, Pat did it.
Well, didn't you put together the graphic, Mike, or did you do that as well, Pat?
No, Pat does that. The only thing I put together is the first through third. Pat does the.
Oh, okay. All right, I take all the props for you, Mike, away. No props for you.
No. Mike has to do all the tallying. He does the math part of it. So
Oh, that's true. Okay. A little bit of props back.
Right.
But yeah, thanks for stepping in late there, Pat. That was awesome.
Yep.
Okay. Let's get into talking about what we think about a few of these books now. All right, Mike, you're first.
No, I wasn't. I was. Third. All right.
People have heard me talk way too much at this point, so.
All right. And then Pat's got a long thing coming up. I get it. Pat, did you have a guess on what I am reviewing?
I guess, but it was verified because I could sort of see your pictures.
Oh, okay.
I'm guessing it has something to do with an activity.
Yeah.
Teenagers. Yes, there you go.
So I read Gromits number 1 and 2. This is from Rick Remender and Brian Posen. I can never say his name correctly. They're the writers, and Brett Parson is the artist. And I know you may not recognize his name, Kevin, but Brian Posen, he's actually a comedian, actor, and I think he's done a couple records, but this is him. You recognize his face?
Oh yeah, definitely. I know him. Yeah, I didn't know that was his name though. Okay, cool. Very cool.
He was on Big Bang Theory, and a lot of people don't know this, but a lot of people do. He is the reason there is so much hate towards Nickelback.
Are you serious?
Yeah. He made a joke years and years ago. I don't recall how the joke went, but he made a joke trashing Nickelback, and it stuck.
It sure did.
I think it was some kind of podcast or interview thing or whatever he was doing, and then he just made a throwaway comment about Nickelback, and it stuck.
It sure did. You see, those seem to be making the rounds right now too. The Nickelback, people of a younger generation realizing, you know what? I heard Nickelback suck, but you know what? They're kind of good.
Yeah, there's worse stuff out there.
Yeah.
All right, so Gromits 1 and 2. I've loved skateboarding since high school and all that, and always wanted a skateboard. Never was able to get one. They're a little out of my parents' price range for what they were willing to spend money on. But I never heard of a Gromit before. But per Brian, the writer here, it is a young up-and-coming skater or surfer.
Huh. So, did not know that. Do you know that, Pat?
No, I just assumed it was part of the skateboard.
Yeah, I mean,
lore of some type, or terminology.
Like an actual physical part of the board, but no.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
We'll definitely get your grinding reference. Nice reference in the tease, Mike. Nice.
Yeah, there you go. So basically, this it's a set in 1984. There's two main characters. One of them is Rick. Him and his family moved from San Francisco to Sacramento in 1984, and he, he's the new kid. He's embarrassed by his dad dropping him off at school and all that, just all the stereotypical things there. He befriends another kid with a skateboard. His name's Brian. So basically, it's just the exploits of those two, getting a ride from Brian's grandfather and going to the skate park. And Brian talks a real good game and all this, but when he gets to the skate park, he actually crashes and burns, and just about everyone in front of everybody. And the artwork from Brett Parson here is just fantastic. I love it. Here's some interior stuff. This is just so stereotypical of 1980s, the way everybody envisions the 1980s from movies and things like that. Just the craziness of the schools. I don't remember high school being this crazy outside. Maybe So we were like in the middle of it, but I love the artwork. I love the way he draws the cars, because when I was a kid, I would read cartoons magazine, and the way the cars were drawn were just spot on, yet, you know, exaggerate a little bit. So this just really capturing that 1980s movie feel, just the way the stereotypical look of it. Even some of the jokes are kind of in the mindset and attitudes of the 80s. So it's just really, really good. I hope I have one of my pictures didn't show up. Here's just another example of the art, and you know how the Ford truck was drawn. So in issue number 1 is just them kind of meeting, going to the skate park and all that. Issue number 2, we get to meet the 3 Jens, Jen, and Jen with 2 N's, which I thought was kind of that's pretty funny. And once again, I'll just get in trouble with security guard and chased by your rednecks in a pickup. Is that whole rednecks versus the skaters, is the geeks, all that stuff that probably still goes on, but we know it more from the 80s. And my favorite panel of both books is right here. It's of that kid Brian crashing and burning at the skate park, and those are the 3 Jens right there. I just think it's so hilarious. He's kind of, it's almost like slow motion of him flying and right in front of all.
Yeah.
And one of them is kind of doing that little funny wave, like, oh.
Right.
But it's pretty cool. I mean, he actually has a crush on the one that's waving to him there, but she's kind of brushing him off and turning him down, like saying nothing. They're never gonna get together. So in closing here, I've got the art is it's perfect. The storytelling is great. It doesn't lag in moving the story along. A pretty brisk pace. There's a lot of movement, but nothing gets overcomplicated. You can just follow the story really well as it's happening. So for me, this is a must-have for me, because it's got the skateboarding thing. It's capturing a lot of that 80s feel. I love the artwork. For others, it could be just to get it, because it's quality stuff. So if you're into skateboarding in the 80s, definitely get it. I think you'll love it.
I think you highlighted this in the previous previews too. I think originally when it was listed as well. Yeah,
I think I did. Yeah.
And as you were, sorry, Mike. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, number 1 came out May 29th. Number 2 came out June 26th. Number 3 comes out July 31st, and I think it's a 6-issue miniseries.
I was just gonna say, while you were talking about all this, I was wondering. We've seen a reference of skateboarding, kind of like in this reference, which I'll get to in a second. Skateboarding is kind of seemingly popular, coming back again now. I've seen a lot of it, and then when I saw it in this one in particular show, I was like, oh, maybe skateboards are making a comeback. But remember Dark Matter? That's one way the imposter guy was trying to make friends with his son on his birthday. He went out and let him buy any skateboard he wanted and get all for it. Remember that? Yeah. So his son was a total skater in that, and So
I made up for it for me never having one as a kid. Mark has 5.
Yes, 5.
Yeah. Well, he has his, and then Cora didn't want hers anymore, so because she wants a longboard for cruising, and then so he's got those 2, and then he found one for like $5 at a secondhand store, and then he built one himself. He ordered the deck, he ordered the tape, he ordered the trucks, he ordered the wheels, all that, and drew up the design. We painted it up, so he just built it from the ground up. So yeah, it's and then he hasn't been on one in like a year.
That's what I was going to ask you. Is he out there on them? Yeah,
he hasn't for a while. He goes through phases,
Yeah. All right, cool.
Yep.
I definitely like to check that out. And I've never been into skating, but obviously 80s is my jam. And yeah, this looks
Yeah.
cool. And
Yeah, I
fun.
think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I think you would like it, Kevin. Were you getting this, Patrick?
I passed on just because I'm not a skateboarding fan, but it definitely intrigued me because of the writer and the artist. So
Yeah. Yeah, it's. I really love it. I'm looking forward to issue 3.
All right. What you got, Pat?
all right, let's see. Sorry, a lot to go through here. Okay, I'm going to talk about Ain't No Grave #2. This is by Scotty Young and Jorge Corona. We last left off with #1. We're following the story of Ryder, and she was an outlaw, but she had settled down with a family and was living the seemingly perfect life. But then we find out she's sick, and she was out to confront death. She wanted to actually face down death in its physical form, and she had this coin that led her to this city named Cyprus, and that's kind of where issue 1 left off. So she gets there in issue 2, and right away she's confronted by, I guess, the sheriff of Cyprus, and he basically lays it out to her, saying that she's not supposed to be here until her time's up, and her time's not up yet. And she says, "Well, nobody ever tells me what to do," and everyone, he prepares to draw his gun on her. She takes him out, and then she becomes a wanted woman here, also in Cyprus.
Looks like he collects badges.
Yeah, I thought that was awesome.
Yeah, like he kills other sheriffs or lawmen or whatever and takes their badge.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
All the citizens, I guess you call them, of Cyprus are really interestingly designed characters, grotesque or over exaggerated, just really weird. That's one of the big draws of this book is the artwork. I love the artwork in this book. This book, it continues to be told through flashbacks. We flash back because she finds out she's wanted here in Cyprus. She flashes back to her past, where she was also a wanted woman, and we see, we're just not sure about her character. She seems like a loving wife and mother, but she seems to really have a nasty past, and it's shown here when she's sort of being confronted by uh, a lawman and his deputy, and she basically blows away the deputy in a rather graphic style. So you're left wondering, is she truly a good person? She doesn't seem like it, but she was. The flashbacks to her family, she seems like a very nice, well-adjusted woman. So you're kind of left still wondering. And here is one of the flashbacks. You can see the contrast in styles. It's totally different. When you flash back to her idyllic life with her family, the colors and the backgrounds are very bright and colorful and welcoming versus her time spent in Cyprus. So she's on the run, and everyone's out to get her. She finds a bit of help in this form of this guy. We don't know why he's helping her, but she kind of explains her situation and tells her if she really wants to confront death, that she needs to get to this riverboat. And I apologize because I cannot remember the name of the riverboat. I'm not at home, so I don't have the book with me. It's something like you have to get aboard the Queen Victoria or something, and it ends up being this riverboat gambling vessel. So she needs a way to get there, and the last cool panel I wanted to highlight was ride that this stranger gives her is this guy here. So another really cool shot out of the book. I had to censor the word balloon there, if you notice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she makes it to the riverboat. That's how the issue number 2 ends. And you kind of I'm finally putting things together. And again, I wish I would have been home because I would have pulled out number 1, because I think the title of issue 2 is Denial. So I think every issue is titled after like the 5 stages of grief. So I'm assuming when she gets onto this riverboat, it's going to be the bargaining stage of grief. It kind of makes sense with the gambling, and she's going to be bargaining. So I assume, I think actually number 3 either came out last week or this week, or comes out next week. I'm not sure, but I'm on number 2, and strong get it, almost a must have. The only qualm I have is you just don't know if you should be rooting for this woman. She seems to have a really terrible past. She claims she's doing it for her family, which is something everybody can relate to that has a family, of course. But she seems to be one nasty person at times. So you're just not sure if you should be rooting for her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So overall, a strong get it from me. Look for it. It's 5-issue series and really well done. If not for the writing, the story, the artwork's phenomenal. I love it.
Yeah, I picked up, after you had talked about 1, I picked up number 1 to read it, and it was late at night. And I started reading. I was like, man, there's a lot of words on this page, so I put it down. So it's
a lot of dialogue in it.
Yeah, well, I think it was just it wasn't necessarily dialogue.
Descriptions and stuff too.
Yeah, so it's from what I remember, it's probably one of those you've got to sit down and be ready to, take the whole thing in. It's not just a quick 5-6 minute read. It's this one you got to take your time with.
Plus, number 1 was an oversized issue too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely one I definitely like to check out.
Did you say you had 2 reviews today, Mike?
No, I double reviewed issue 1 and 2
at the same time.
I get it.
Yeah.
Well, I have a quick double review because I read this week too, and I wanted to spotlight it because I didn't talk about number 1. I don't believe. And that's Spectrograph from Distillery. This is number 2 by James Tinian IV and Christian Ward. This is one wacky story. But let's just put it this way. This is a 4-issue series. There's no way I can just stop reading here at number 2. I have to find out what happens here. It's just so weird, and the artwork at times is like spectacular. It's amazing. Other times it's kind of shaky. It's kind of weird. But I would also give this a give it. I get it. It's an interesting story. Overall, the artwork is very good. And
is this a wraparound cover?
Yes, it is. All the Distillery books have wraparound.
So the wraparound for this, the corner box is in the bottom corner and on the back.
Yeah, if you want to call it a corner box, it has the UPC symbol in the box. You just don't see it there.
Oh, okay.
It is annoying though, because I guess you wouldn't know it was number 2 unless you look.
Right.
Yeah. So Christian Ward does all the artwork in here?
Yes.
I thought he mostly did covers. That's great. I think
that makes sense because most of the pages look like, fully painted cover work or Yeah, so I wasn't really familiar with either one. Well, I'm familiar with them, but I never picked up anything by either one of these creators before. So it's very interesting to me. And basically, really quickly, the plot is there's this rich man who he doesn't want to die. He wants to live on. So he creates this machine, which ends up being an entire house that's supposed to make people into ghosts so they can live eternally. And it's just goes from there. they're throughout the decades, they're working to perfect this machine. And as you can see, things don't seem to be going very well.
Right.
On that cover.
Yeah.
But if you're a fan of like Twilight Zone type stories or horror, it's something you should probably track down because it's really cool, really interesting, really cool. And I can't wait to see where it goes. It's weird too because there's that as the basis behind it, but issue 2 sort of doubles down and brings you into and makes you relate to things at a more human level because it focuses on the 2 women who are trapped in the house. One was a realtor trying to sell the house. The other woman was the head of this occult group who was supposed to be like the final experiment to see if this ghost machine worked. So now they're both trapped in the house together trying to figure a way out. Because on top of that, another element of human drama, the realtor had the last minute go out and show this house. She wasn't expecting to show the house, and she left her little kid in the house thinking she'd be right back. So now she's trapped in this house for who knows how long, and her kid's there by herself.
Oh, jeez.
So there's all kinds of anxiety on top of it. Yeah, but two strong get-its for me. Check them out.
Cool. Yeah, I want to check this one out then.
Yeah, that's definitely interesting. Sounds like something I'd dig too. I didn't realize. I thought that was just a person until I made it big, and that's a splat of blood, kind of dripping like a person on the cover.
Well,
that's pretty cool, right?
It's just weird because the ghosts or the spirits, whatever you want to call them, are like they never seem to be fully formed. You like see they're different layers. Like you see the skeletal layer, the muscular layer, the nervous system layer. They never seem to always match up. They're sort of all on these different planes. And I assume that's part of the problem in their machine is that they just can't get things right. And this is an example of what you end up with sometimes.
Awesome. All right, cool. It's a lot to follow. A lot of definite positivity going on here today.
Yeah, we're making good choices on what we buy.
Yeah.
If
I made a good choice. What'd you say, Mike?
That was a book, Blow Away. I highlighted it in previews, and I read the first issue. And I've ordered one. I think it was a 5-issue series. I ordered 1 through 4, and then I was like, "Oh, I'm going to review this week." And I read number 1, and I started number 2, and I couldn't even get through number 2. I was like, "I'm done. This is terrible." And now I didn't order 5. I regret ordering 3 and 4. But anyway,
We've all been there.
Yeah. So yeah.
What was the name of that book, Mike?
Blow Away.
Blow Away. Okay.
Yeah. It's about this woman. She's a nature photographer, and she's out in the Arctic, and she supposedly witnesses what could possibly be a murder. And I was like, oh, kind of Rear Window-ish. I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. It's not. That's my second review.
All right. Well, my review for this week, I finally got around to reading Fire and Ice #1. The reason that I'm so far ahead of my pack of books, this came out, I think it came out almost exactly a year ago now. Finally gonna try to read some of these kind of old style classic new books. But this is Fire and Ice #1 by Bill Willingham and Leonardo Manco. And obviously this is based kind of on the movie. My recollection, I'll just say this right out of the gate, my recollection of the movie and what happens in this first issue do not connect other than kind of, the era and the characters. But as far as the story is concerned, this is totally not what I'm remembering from Fire and Ice. You might be familiar with the main character there, Dark Wolf. You guys know anything? You guys remember Fire and Ice from back in the day?
don't.
I never saw it. I know of it, but I never saw it.
So it's pretty simple. That's kind of the drawback, although I don't want to speak negatively because I enjoy this. But you do, I don't know how many times you can retread kind of barbarian action storylines. It's good, but it really feels the same as a lot of other, especially I'm a Conan fan and stuff. These things get very similar. I don't know exactly how they can kind of make them more special, even though it's, different story. It's, it just feels the same. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It wasn't a lot going on back then.
Right. So it's basically, and this is actually pretty graphic. I love the art of this. Again, I don't have interiors, but the interiors is as great as this is a Frazetta cover, but the interiors are as great as any of the covers I've seen of this. It's really good artwork inside. Very simple story. It doesn't even give like a year time frame, but obviously these are cave people essentially, and of course then again in barbarian type storytelling there's always superpower sorcery people around, and basically all that happens in this, and that's the other thing that kind of struck me about this book is there's a lot of ads, but that's kind of that's kind of how what Dynamite kind of does it. There's a lot of ads for all their other. So it feels like there's more ads than in the average comic, but there's a lot of ads in all of them now. I don't know whether it just struck me this time, but anyway, very simple. Tribe just living their life, and sorcery, or there's a sorceress that needs a sacrifice to build her power on the regular. So we follow this one tribe for like 3 pages until the sorceress send out her henchmen to find a sacrifice, and they wipe out all but one guy from this tribe, and all the women weren't out with them while they were hunting and kind of training and stuff like that. So the women, once their tribe was missing, the women in this era are pretty bad butt too. So they go after them to find out where they went. And then Dark Wolf kind of shows up to, and then they start losing the fight because they're outnumbered and outpowered by knights and sorcery people. And there's knights in this too. So it's kind of like different worlds in the same universe. But then Dark Wolf kind of interrupts. And that's actually what the last panel is, when the first time we see Dark Wolf, which is kind of the highlighted character on the cover here, is the last panel as he's going to rescue the women that are trying to see where their men went that were kidnapped by a sorceress. And there's a little bit of extra drama going on because we also, it's half of the story is following the caveman type people and half the story is following the knights. There's drama in this one knight that's going to become king. His sister kills him. But so it's, it's real lackluster, but it's okay. It's fine, but there's definitely nothing special about it. I would say the biggest thing that's special about this first issue is the art. It's really nice, but it's very simple. So I'd say, I'm on the fence on the, it really, if you're a big barbarian fan, this is definitely up your alley. I'd say definitely get it. I wouldn't even say it's a must-have for them, but it's. I don't think you'd be disappointed if you get it. But everyone else, it's kind of undecided, or maybe even leaning into a pass, especially if barbarians aren't your jam, because this isn't. There's not much meat to this. I plan on reading all the issues I have of this. This only went to, how many did this go, Mike? Do you know?
I don't know. I think there's new issues, unless it's just another Like this was one miniseries and they've started another one. I thought I saw a new solicitation,
Oh, okay.
but I could be wrong.
Well, I'm not up on recent, so yeah, I don't know either way of that. I probably should have researched that too. So, but anyway, I'm finishing off Get It or Forget It with kind of undecided, leaning towards Forget It, unless you're a Barbarian fan. So
Yeah. Yeah, this came. Yeah, it's actually. I think it's a new issue. Number 5 comes out in October. Issue 4 is September. Yeah, so there was a huge. Number 2 was December of 2023. Number 3 is August of 2024. So, yeah, you're almost caught up.
Well, that's good news. I like that actually.
Yeah, this was August of 2023 that this one came out. That's holy cow. That's a huge delay. So,
Yeah.
and I mean, there may be other Fire and Ice because you
Yeah,
said
like Fire and Ice,
have
Emerald City, or something like that. How they do
Yeah,
that with,
yeah.
like they do with Conan. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but this series that you're reviewing here, yeah, you've got issue 1 and 2 that you can read, and 3's coming up. Maybe.
Nice. That works out for us sometimes. So yeah, cool.
Right. Yeah, it's all right if it takes you 6 months to get between reading issues, because, geez, there's a lot of books that are delayed because of the whole just issues at IDW. You know, who knows what's going on with that publisher, but there's a lot of books that haven't even been out yet.
Huh.
Crazy.
All right, Pat, are you ready to tell us why we're having Halloween in July?
You're muted, Pat. Maybe on purpose. Oh,
I am ready.
Okay. All right, awesome. I just noticed we're still live on Instagram too. So crazy how it'll cut us off at an hour for like 10 shows in a row, and then one show will go 3 hours and still be live.
Yeah.
Wish there was some consistency there.
Right.
All right. Anyway, go ahead, Matt.
Yeah, we're gonna get to Halloween in a minute, but
Okay.
first we have to finish up the HasLab Cantina campaign. You know, it was fully funded. We knew that. It
Yeah.
was a question of whether they were going to hit their stretch goals.
Yeah.
And they got 2 of the 3. We got Greedo, and we got this dude. Well, I can go back and check his name out in a minute here. We did not get this dude. This is Arliel Schaus, or some such weird name. The Wolfman looking guy here.
I guarantee everybody would prefer this dude to the second dude.
Yeah.
That's the guy that Ben cut his arm, right?
Nabron Leeds. That's the guy. That's who we're getting is the second tier. He has 4 arms. So, yeah.
We didn't get Arliel Schaus.
Correct.
So you cannot recreate Obi-Wan cutting his arm. I wonder if his arm was removable too. Well, you could make it removable anyway, but that's the character he cut his arm off, right?
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Who is it? Do you remember?
Oh boy.
Okay, we'll pass on that. Yeah, stay focused. Sorry.
Yeah. So you know, it ended up being, you know, they needed 8,000 orders. That was the funding goal. They got 14,737. So
That's amazing in itself. Congratulations, Hasbro. That's awesome. If you ask me, of course.
Yeah, so be looking for that probably next year sometime to arrive in a large refrigerator sized box on your doorstep if you agree with me.
Did you back this, Pat?
No, I did not.
Yeah. Okay.
I can't wait to see the content creators what they do with this. So it's gonna be they can do some awesome stuff with it. That's for sure.
Yeah. Well, I usually save the tease for last, but we're gonna do it in the middle here. We're gonna talk some Halloween because they showed a preview of the Droid Factory. The Droid Factory is sort of a subline. It's sort of in the scale with the Vintage Collection, but it's exclusive to the Disney parks. And first, they usually do holiday themed figures. And the first one is this little R5 looking guy. Don't really have any details on him. A lot of people went right to the name of Z0M-B1, which is zombie, if you want to look at it. If it's not zombie, then they missed the boat because
Hey, I just want to interrupt you real quick with an answer to my own question. It was Ponda Boba.
there you go.
Ponda Baba that he cut his arm off.
Yep.
Well, I was always thinking it was that werewolf guy. Huh.
Walrus man, I guess is what we used to call him.
Yeah, Walrus Man is what we call him. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Walrus
right,
man
anyway.
and Dr. Evazon. Yep.
Zombie droid, nice. Do you have
But
any
we're
other
not
pictures?
done there.
Okay.
No other pictures because this is the only thing that came out so far.
I want to see the back of that.
Yeah, I know. Just imagine your typical R5 with half a head and different colors.
Well, that's what, obviously that's a little bit of a joke with us, but I actually was curious with this one because if you'd see the back of it, what do we see if we're looking down inside,
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe we'll see like a metallic robotic brain.
Right. Yeah. Anyway.
Again, if they didn't do that, they missed the boat.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Some more Halloween goodness. This is, well, goodness. I don't know. This is why I also said a horrific Halloween because I don't know. I don't know who's buying these, but apparently a lot of people are because it's sold out. This is an Amazon exclusive. This is the Black Series Halloween edition Inquisitor and Doros Bounty Hunter 2-pack.
What's happening here? What are we doing?
What?
I think this is just terrible.
It is.
Basically an Inquisitor in Dracula paint scheme, get up, and your Cad Bane bounty hunter Doros dressed up as like a Frankenstein, painted as Frankenstein. We have some action shots here. If this might sell you any better. Here we have.
Sorry.
No, it doesn't. Oh, and they use the whatchamacallits from
yes, the Minox.
Yeah, the Minox as the bat reference. I mean, there's a little cleverness going on here, but it still doesn't look cool.
Yeah, I give him some credit because I thought these two shots were okay. When you see this, it's like this gives you a little bit of hope, and as does this because I thought this was kind of funny.
Yeah, exactly. That's what. Yeah, this kind of stuff will suck you right into it. Yeah, that is clever.
As I said, Amazon exclusive.
And it's got, what's his name?
Yeah, a little Babu freak creature.
Yeah.
Oh, it says figure does not fly.
I know. Sorry. But like I said, Amazon exclusive. They were $45. As of last night, they were sold out. They kept coming back in and out of stock.
That's crazy. That's crazy to me. Yeah.
What was also weird too was last night I found people that already have this. It went up for order this week, and I see some people have it in hand already. So I don't know.
Is this the first time they've done this to the Star Wars?
No.
Halloween. Oh, I missed the last
No,
number.
they've
I don't remember.
they've done some release. Yeah, they've done some releases in the past. Well, I probably didn't highlight it because I don't like them. They're just
Yeah. There you go.
yeah. Just
Well, I don't like them either, but I want you to highlight them every time.
Okay. All right. I mean, yeah, that doesn't ever stop me from doing the Jokerized Batman stuff. So.
That's true.
Right.
You're gonna have end up with an episode of just a bunch of stuff that shouldn't exist.
If we want to get a little more pricier, we're going to look at another Mondo release in their X-Men. Well, I can't remember if the other one were labeled X-Men 97. Yeah, I think they were. Here's Cyclops and all his accessories. He seems a little more cell shaded than the other X-Men releases they've had so far. These are 12-inch, highly articulated, lots of accessories and swap out parts from Mondo. So that means expensive.
Yeah.
We're clocking in at $240. There he is, posed up, getting ready to blast somebody with a little effect piece in his visor. Here he is, sort of walking.
He looks awesome.
Here's a little action shot with their other Mondo figures.
Awesome.
Another action shot. The cool little effect with the blast effect there.
Yeah.
They've done a great job on the shadowing. I think did McFarlane try that?
Yeah, a lot of people try it. Yeah, a lot of people try it. Yeah, I think Mondo pulls it off pretty well here.
Yeah,
that Cyclops almost looks like a shot from the animated show.
Yeah,
doesn't know any better. It's pretty well done.
Yeah,
but
that's.
I was wondering when those lasers were laying on the ground there, what the heck is that? But yeah, I see what it is. It's a him swinging his head and shooting.
Yeah, pretty neat.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
I really like the goggles with it just starting.
Yeah,
I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
So what's this? How much is this one?
240.
Wait, there were a lot of numbers I just heard. How much?
Yeah, I know. I was actually wondering why I only reacted to that when he first said it about myself. You obviously didn't hear him. I know. It's insane. It's crazy. I mean, maybe not. If you're a Cyclops fan, it's awesome. That's for sure.
What is quality too? So well done.
Yeah, and if you're all in on this X-Men line from them, then you have to get Cyclops, I guess. So
yeah,
you have a fortune tied up in your X-Men.
I'm kidding.
We'll look at something that should be a little more affordable, but it's Super 7, so who knows? First being shown at San Diego Comic-Con at the end of this month is Dungeons & Dragons trading cards.
Oh.
They are very retro looking.
Kevin's got that I just went broke look on his face.
Yeah. This is awesome. Yeah, having the retro look with it that's double awesome. And having those classic stickers, love those stickers.
Yeah, I assume they're doing this because it didn't get a card set back in the day. Don't know.
Yeah, that's very cool.
They're also doing Peanuts trading cards to be first released at San Diego Comic-Con, but I think they're mass retail after that. Well, I say mass, but probably in the collector's section is where you'll be able to find all the other Super 7 stuff.
Has there ever been a Peanuts card set?
You'd think there would have been at some point, but I don't know. They're very specifically like early Peanuts from what I saw. I don't have a picture here. I apologize, but they seemed like very early. So who knows? They could their plans may be to do all the generations of Peanuts cards releases. Who knows? Also from Reaction, this they're up to their old tricks here because they're doing. They've done carded figures, but now they'd love to do the blind box. So we have Sesame Street blind box figures. First appearing just like the other blind boxes at Target initially, then perhaps other places as well. Here's the line.
Okay.
Sorry, seriously. Look at Cookie.
So here's the lineup. Yeah, Cookie Monster. So they've released these before on card. The Bert and Ernie and Green Oscar have all been carded previously. So this is kind of greedy on their part, I feel, because you could end up with the same figures you already bought, identical figures to what you already
The
bought.
size, identical size too.
Yes, they're 3 3/4 reaction figure size.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, you're getting a translucent Cookie Monster where you can see the cookies in his belly, and he'll be. I think
that's awesome.
Yeah, I think he's the rarest. I think he's
of
like
course,
case, of course. But as we talked about with the Godzilla figures, and we found out the tricks, you can get that little portable digital scale. I guarantee you, he's the heaviest.
Yeah,
Just by looking at it. So if you get there, you could probably actually not even need a scale to suss out Cookie Monster, perhaps. But if you get there when they get a new fresh case out, you may be able to get them. But if there's, you better be the first one there, because the scalpers will probably scoop up Cookie right away.
Yeah.
And the other interesting one is the first appearance orange Oscar the Garage. People will be probably hunting him too. So there they are.
Yeah, those are really neat if I had expendable income, but yeah, I don't. So
yeah, I just went to Cookie Monster.
did you notice that in the previous pic he showed, Mike, that you could actually see the cookies in them?
Oh yeah, right away. That's Yep.
That's cool.
Yep. I get her off the bed.
Well, if you can't afford these Sesame Street blind boxes, I have some bad news for the rest of the horizon here, because we're going into Hot Toys / Hono territory. Remember previously the Wolverine, the entry grade figures they touted. Look pretty cool to us. I initially skipped over this third release. First was the yellow and blue Wolverine. Second was Magneto. Also looked very good. Third release.
Sorry, I just looked up the Cookie Monster on eBay.
Is he already up on eBay?
Ooh, $90. There's one for $60 with shipping. Hi, caramba. I guess I won't get it off of eBay. All right, sorry, continue.
That's all right. I wonder if people actually have it in hand, or if they're hoping they can track one down and sell it to you on eBay. I don't know.
Yeah, their presentation, their picture looks like it's
out of box.
Yeah.
They're probably hitting then.
Yep.
All right, so Honyo Studios, their third release, like I said, I think he had been shown he could have been included on a previous Horizon, but I skipped him because I was like, man, I don't know about this one. And that is Symbiote Spider-Man. So he is coming in at $175. Keep that in mind. These are pricey, but they're not Hot Toys pricey. They're entry grade Honyo Studios, so they're a little cheaper. And we'll kind of run through the picks on Symbiote Spider-Man. It comes with a lot, again, a lot of swap out accessories, a lot of additional, you have swap out eye plates, the backpack, the bendable web.
That's pretty nice. That's pretty nice.
You get the display base, which of course you can swap out, put your own comic in there. Good choice being used there. A couple more action shots just so you can get an idea. But to me, this one actually, the big thing about them was they used the internal skeleton with the latex or the silicone bodies. I guess silicone's more appropriate. And so you could see it looked presentation wise very well done with the musculature. But here, you have an all clothed character, so you don't really get the benefit of that. If they're even doing that here, I don't know. And for the first time, it looks like a guy in a fabric outfit to me. And that's kind of why I wasn't blown away by symbiote Spider-Man offering.
Did you say how much it was yet?
Yeah. Let me look for it again. He's a little more expensive than the next one. He's $175. So yeah. Entry grade, 12 inches, 1/6 scale, highly articulated, Q4 2024. But this was the other one. This is the newer showing. I think just was last week or this week. And we knew this was coming. We talked about it when we showed the yellow and brown and blue Wolverine. Now we got the brown and tan Wolverine.
Mm-hmm.
He is 160. We'll go through his shots too. I mean, he's basically the same thing as the previous Wolverine, only in the new colors. Different, you know, his shoulders are a little different because of
the better colors. Yeah, right.
He comes with the Muramasa blade. There you go, the interchangeable face plates, lower face plates.
I love it. Love it.
Just run through a couple different looks here. Get a lot of shots of Wolverine. I should have pulled up an old shot of the yellow and blue, but I forgot. Ran out of time. Whatever you want to say. Good, cool poses. There he is. You know, again, there's all the face plates and the hands and the blade effects and the Muramasa blade, and again with the swappable display base.
So you think those blade effects go on the blade? Okay, yeah, okay. There's a good base.
There you go.
Well, it looked like that blade effect was like actually what they had coming out of his hand, you know, with no blades. So it looked weird, but yeah, you can see it there definitely. That looks awesome.
Yeah, that I like that. That is cool.
160, yeah, it's not bad. Yeah, see that one you can't see the blades. It looks like it was coming right out of his hand. Yeah. Yeah, it looks very cool. I want this. Yes, that will probably be replacing what I currently have displayed.
Yeah, I think at the time we all questioned, you know, do you wait for this version because they'll probably do it, and sure enough, here he is. But that's pretty short, truncated horizon for this week. Not much going on. We're getting ready for San Diego. A lot of announcements. There's a lot of miscellaneous stuff, but I didn't want to go too overboard. Just wanted to highlight a few things. So that's it this week.
Well, that was awesome. Don't shortchange yourself because that still seemed like a lot. Especially with the previous previews, it was perfect. It was a perfect segment. All right, cool. You ready to recap it?
Yeah, recap.
All right.
Hey, welcome back. All right. So first, I need to put this back up. I like the tagline up here. It says, "It turns out that in space they can hear you scream."
Yeah.
And also, by the end of the movie, it sounds like they can hear you yawn too.
Yes.
Check out the first 15 minutes of I.S.S. and then go ahead and go to bed.
Nice.
You could have left that up there because I just wanted to remind everybody that Kevin gave I.S.S. 4 deet out of 10.
Yeah.
All right.
Wait, I'm not gonna leave it up there this time. You guys are stealing my thunder with a little bit of those. I was just gonna say it seems like every show I covered today kind of pulled some dipsy doos on you, and starting with Gremlins, all excited for another live action Gremlins. To find out it's a animated Gremlins that just wrecks all Gremlins lore that you thought you knew before.
And still doesn't answer the question when After Midnight ends.
We still don't know when After Midnight ends. Yep, facts. Comment below if you know, people. Karen's got one. Get your Oreos to know your destiny. Yep. Mike?
My next. Okay, I only have one more. Nickelback, not as bad as advertised.
No, nowhere near.
I don't have much. I didn't write much down. Okay. From Kevin's background, blind bag, $9.99 blind bags, not as bad as people make them out to be, apparently.
Facts. And that's my other dipsy do flipperoo with the Beekeeper was, don't assume if someone tells you they're a beekeeper, what kind of beekeeper they're talking about. Watch yourself. Watch it out there.
Yep.
Karen's got one. You can feed your Mogwai when he wakes up in the morning.
Oh,
that's when the after midnight ends. So after they sleep, whatever time they wake up, it's over. It's over. It's safe.
I don't like
that. Got anything else, Mike?
No.
Can they drink water? What if they spill on themselves?
I've had that question since the first movies came out. I'm like, what are the rules? You can go 3 minutes without air, 3 weeks without food, but you can't go 3 hours without water. How's that rule of 3 work? Right. So they have to drink.
Whoever thought up Gremlins didn't.
Mike, you're the Gremlin aficionado in the group, I think.
I watched the movie.
Karen says they can drink water, they just can't get wet. We get that that's the theory, Karen. Do you have any evidence?
I can't tell you how many times I've been drinking some water and I get it all over my beard.
Exactly.
They'd be in trouble.
The other question I have that you might be able to answer, Mike, is, we always see them get wet when they're furry and then they spit out the balls of fur. Mm-hmm. But if they when they get wet and when they're slimy, they still reproduce then too, right? Because that's how they ended in Gremlins. They all got in the swimming pool.
There's a big pool, yeah.
It became millions of Gremlins and took out a whole town, right? Yeah. Maybe that's how they maintain control of themselves, because they can't drink, so they die of thirst. That would make sense, because how else do you get rid of the little buggers, right?
Yeah. Now it is a horror movie.
Microwave.
Dark turn.
All right, I'll add, if you want to check out some new good comics, check out Mike and Pat's reviews today, but not mine. You're good, Mike? Did you have anything else? Nope. All right, and then it was Walrus Man, not the Werewolf Man, that got his arm cut off. If you didn't know that, you heard it here first. That'll do it.
What was the name of that Jeff Lemire book you highlighted, Mike?
It's a weird one.
This is a long way to go for a joke. I should have read
it. Yeah, Minor Arcana.
So the 1 in 10s variants are just not in the cards for that new Jeff Lemire book, as far as Mike goes, right?
Laugh track.
Yeah.
It's too far of a callback, because you have to remember that it deals with tarot cards. It's always great to have to.
There it
is. Explaining your jokes double downs on the hilarity, though. It works every time. Yeah. All right, cool. Let's close this out then. Unless Karen. I was just going to say, unless Karen had something else, but I'll assume that means she doesn't. Okay, here we go. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that that bell to get notifications of everything we post. We're kind of all over the place right now. We said we'd only do every other week, but then we're actually going to do 2 weeks in a row. I'll obviously refresh this in a minute, but because then after that, we've got a longer sabbatical due to miscellaneous reasons. So, you know what? I was actually looking at the schedules of other people that I follow, and you guys might be able to confirm or disagree with me that it seems like we've been trying to have a schedule for so long and it changes so much. Other shows that I watch, they don't have schedules. They just, when they put it out, you get a notification. They don't ever tell you when they're going to do the next show anyway. Is that maybe after 3 years, 4 seasons, we should just concede to the fact that we won't ever tell schedules. We'll just go with the like, comment, and subscribe, and that'll cover it. Maybe that's what all the other shows went through to get to where they are now. Anyway, what say you, Mike? You think that sounds about accurate?
Yeah.
All right. All right, you can subscribe to Comics and Collectibles in the Crawl Space on Spotify for podcasters. If you want to check out a bunch of old podcasts, through our other many podcast providers as well. But you will not be able to listen to the edited podcast of this live stream. And I'll probably never comment this again because I just can't figure it out. Well, here's what I've kind of decided I'm going to do is I'm just going to get a whole new podcast platform, which takes even more effort. It seems like it would take more or less effort to then trying to get back on the old platform where you're at. But, I'll figure it out at some point when I have time. And then follow Xcellar Comics on Facebook, Instagram, X, and follow Xcellar_comics on TikTok and whatnot. That's a whole nother thing too. We're still trying to work out our schedule. Just enjoy our shows as they get out. Just enjoy our shows as they come out, right?
Yep.
That's what I'm going to spend at the end of the show here is working these banners differently. So, and then check out but you can check out what we have to offer on eBay at Xcellar_comics. And then you can help support the show and everything we do and plan to do through Patreon at patreon.com/XcellarComics. And then watch Cover Combat 9 Round 1B. No. Round 2.
Round 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Watch Cover Combat 9 Round 2, Xcellar versus the World Edition. Gary, you didn't change the date on that.
Monday, July 15th.
Oh, yeah, that is right. Yeah, that's right. Okay. I thought that said, it says first on my screen. It literally
says 15th.
It literally says first. Anyway, that's why I'm stuttering here.
15th.
Yeah.
Man, I wish I could take a screenshot of what I'm looking at.
I wish you could because it's so weird.
It literally says July 1st. Anyway, not here that's streaming, but here that I read.
Oh, I thought you read the stream across the bottom.
No, I read my teleprompter here to the right.
Oh.
Anyway. It's so weird. Anyway, this is exciting radio. I mean, radio. This is an exciting live stream. Okay, then lastly, watch our next live stream on YouTube or Facebook or Instagram on Saturday, July 20th. I just need to read the banner because this is my teleprompter's totally screwed up. It's Saturday, July 20th. It says right there on the bottom at 8:30 a.m.-ish Eastern Standard Time, which, yes, is next week. We're going to have a big conversation at the end of this, how we need to just change all this. This is a whole rework in action. This is a good thing. We'll be better. We'll be better next week.
Like you keep saying, the end of our show is like Return of the King.
It is. Actually, I'm going to add to that, too. I've got Pittsburgh Warrior jersey.
Nice.
that I got for my birthday, and I just want to mention that if you're not familiar with the Warriors program, it's a hockey league that supports vets. The vets don't even have to pay anything; they just sponsor everything. The NHL sponsors it, where vets can get together in a league. My son is in the Pittsburgh Warriors, but there's Warriors everywhere. There's the Washington Warriors. You know, so if you're a vet and you like hockey and you're unaware of the Warriors program, check it out on kind of, you know, on the internet. You know, you can find it, but it's pretty cool. This is actually his number, his jersey. I got this, but anyway, nothing like ending a show with a little bit of a train wreck and Return of the King comment by Mike again. So that'll do it. You guys got anything else?
No.
No.
Karen?
I did have a question.
What?
Weren't we supposed to be like swimming in cicadas this summer?
I hadn't heard that.
Oh, right. We'll talk about it
Okay. Cool. All right. We appreciate everybody checking us out. I'm really happy that Instagram was able to check us out at the end, so you can see how no matter how long a show goes, you can see it can ruin itself at the very end. You never know. Right, Pat?
That's right.
Okay. Until next time, don't forget, appreciating great art is awesome, and reading a great story is fun. So why not pick up a comic book and do both? Xcellar out.